We're back. We're back. Episode 100. Let's give a round of applause for episode 100. It's
100.
been it's been a long time, right? For this episode, we're going to kind of discuss a few things along with our guest here, Miss Rebecca Joseph. Talk about kind of how we got started. We're going to talk a little bit of mental health, especially in the Black community.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about how we should be dressing when we go outside. 'Cause that's a real big topic between me and Mrs. Clark. And we're going to get some snippets and stuff that was put together and kind of go from there. Now, thank you guys for joining us. We're on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all the different platforms. Make sure you tell a friend, bring a friend, share this actual live at this moment. But my mom always told me never introduce anyone, but guess what? You're going to mess it up. So I'm gonna introduce myself and let the rest of the guests introduce themselves. My name is Mr. Daily Insight, Mr. 29 Jobs, Mr. 305, Mr. Dade County. So who else do we have on the platform today?
Hey, man, it's your boy South Florida Sid. Hey, I am South Florida. Please give me some grace today. I am at the W Hotel on Fort Lauderdale Beach. So if the signal is in and out and goes bad, give me a little bit of grace here and there. But I'm here. We're ready. And I'm ready to have a great conversation about mental health, man. Hey, as somebody who never respected mental health, I can't wait to discuss it with our lovely lady here today and our lovely guests. So I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, who else do we
And
have?
I am Rebecca J, formerly Rebecca Joseph, but everybody, I guess my stage name, my singing name, my author name is Rebecca J, and I am a registered mental health counseling intern who's going to be taking her tests shortly to become a licensed mental health counselor.
Yeah, let's clap it off for that. Yes, let's clap it off for that.
Yes,
All right, so we're gonna
absolutely.
get into a few things, Miss Rebecca, regarding just mental health, kind of the stigma that we have in regards to the Black community. Because I'm gonna speak here real shortly. Growing up, as Mr. South Florida said after, well, before the show, that in the Black community there's a stigma, right? Especially us men, we should not cry, we should not grieve, we should not talk about our feelings. And typically with a lot of women, you guys have a circle, you have a bond. Y'all can kind of go to each other and have these conversations, and talk freely, and it not be you not be looked at upon as a, oh, you're weak, you're this, you're that. Now, when it comes to men, if I was to kind of go to South Florida Sid or any one of my brothers and have a conversation, we may be looked at as what, soft. We don't have, we're your kahunas, we're your balls, suck it up, don't let it out. So that's the thing that I'm kind of want to kind of get into as well. Now, regarding mental health, tell the people how long you've kind of been in mental health and what essentially got you started in this field.
Okay, so I've actually always wanted to be a therapist since high school.
Okay.
Um, I graduated from FIU with my bachelor's in psychology. It was the only school I applied to because my sister went there. Shouts out to Cassandra and my mentor, rest in peace, Kimi. Both went there. I applied there. I got in. I was like, okay. So I did the psychology bachelor's program, and then I went to Nova Southeastern for my master's in counseling. Um, and then I did a detour
Uh-huh.
um, and kind of like did child welfare for 8.5 years. So I licensed foster homes. I was a case manager. I did not remove anybody's children, but I was the case manager after the children were removed
Uh-huh.
um, in Broward County. So I did that for 8.5 years. And after that detour, God was like, okay, are you ready to get back on track? And I said yes. And so I got fired from my job in
Hmm.
April for a Instagram comment on my friend Tamisha's post. Shout out to Mish Dolls. And so she made a post. I commented under that post. We both got fired on April 4th for fraternizing um, with the I guess with the agency available. And then I became a full time therapist within a month, and I've been a
Okay.
full time therapist for 2.5 years. I've been practicing for 3 years, and full time my only job for the past 2.5 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm,
Safo, you got some
nice.
questions at all?
Of course. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about. Hopefully, my signal's still good again. But let's talk about
No, you're
mental
good. Go
health.
ahead.
Let's talk about. Oh, it's good. Okay, good. Let's talk about, as Black men, the respect, Black and brown men, because we have Latino supporters and listeners, and it's funny because whenever I bring up going to counseling and therapy to them, they laugh at me, right? Oh, what are you going there for? You know, so let's talk about the disrespect of mental health that we have in our Black and brown communities, you know? And why is it that in our community, it's very looked down upon, but in the white community, I mean, there's some white people who go to therapy every day. Now, man, their insurance is getting hit. I know that, or they're paying out of pocket, right? But or they're paying a lot of money. I know how much I used to pay. For therapy, and man,
It's a lot.
You know,
It's a lot.
So could you speak to the demographics and the race issue that we have when it comes to mental health and counseling?
I think it stems primarily from a lot of the Black and brown community being Christian, and using the church and the pastoral platform as a means for counseling. I think that might be like the general root of it. And then the initial shame that comes with Black people needing help. So in the Black community, you don't need help. I'm Haitian. In the Haitian community, you don't need help. In the Caribbean community, you don't need help. We're taught to don't go to nobody's house and ask for nothing. Don't go to nobody's house and eat and tell them you're hungry. Don't go to anybody's house and tell them that you need anything. We don't go to neighbors and borrow food. We don't like, you can come to my house and eat my food as a Haitian. Like, oh, my mom, my grandma cooked this weekend. You can come and eat, but don't you ever act hungry in public. Don't you ever act needy in public. Don't you ever go to the church and tell them you need a ride home and I'll come pick you up. I don't care if it's 3:00 in the morning. You waiting for me. Don't ask nobody for no ride. Don't tell nobody where to live. I think that concept became the root of the problem, not ever needing anything, help, or anyone to help us with anything. And then financially, therapy it appeared to be expensive. I don't know if you guys watch like Caucasian films, but like the dramas, the love coms, the rom-coms, they're always like, oh yeah, I went to therapy. They're laying on the couch and it's like about the bill, $150 a session. It is that now, but
that part.
It's very expensive.
Yes,
I know
that part.
So that, and then not having health insurance. I don't think health insurance covered mental health back then.
They do now.
But back then you had to pay out of pocket. So everybody was private pay. And that was another thing, like, oh yeah, $200 for a session. Oh yeah, $150 for a session, $175. I'm trying to get groceries for $75. You want me to spend that in 1 hour?
It's gonna add up. Yeah, exactly.
For talking to someone, that messed it up again. So financially, there was another problem. And then for men, it's you're weak. What are you talking to them about? What could you possibly be going through that you need to pay someone to talk? And then that shame kind of just stuck.
It's stuck there. What are your thoughts on social media and how it has an effect on kids' mental health? Man, I'm not on social media.
Oh,
you're not.
Not at all. Yes, he'll tell you. Like, I refuse to get on Facebook.
You're terrible.
I'm not lying either. I refuse to get on Facebook. I refuse to get on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, because sometimes life itself, right, is hard enough. But to deal with stuff you see on social media where you feel like, you're competing with people who show you that they're in Dubai and Abu Dhabi every other day when they're lying. Most people can't even afford to go to Abu Dhabi one time in their life. Yet you look on social media and people going there every day. Where everybody is. It seems it's just. What do you think these kids? I talk to my nieces and my nephews, and a lot of times I see them wanting the finer things in life based off social media, right? But not really knowing how to get the finer things in life through hard work, right? And what it takes to get there. So what effect do you think social media has on mental health?
It's
Good question,
ruined.
sir.
It's ruined us.
That's right.
I mean, bottom line, it's ruined like society. I will probably die on that. I'm okay with dying on that. The comparison narrative brings depression and anxiety so high up. Kids don't even know how to talk to each other in class. Post-COVID, kids do not even know how to like sit with their own friends, like talk to my clients are like beefing with their own friends because she sat down and she was on her phone and I don't know why she would sit and not speak to me, and she went to third lunch instead of first lunch because supposedly she's ignoring me. Like, they don't even know how to talk. My youngest client is 8. My oldest client is 67. And across the board, my adults and my teens and my like children, I say my because I always call clients mine. My clients don't know how to talk. They don't know how to date. They don't know how to join cheer, do this, do that. It's always being looked at. I'm big, I'm too small, my hair is this. It's always something with their appearance. My hair is too kinky, my hair is too this. My body is this. My grandma calls me fat. My mom says that I'm ugly, or spending habits, Sephora, like the going viral.
Yeah.
Like, I have a client who has a problem with spending. Her daughter, she spent $150 on her daughter at Sephora, and her account is in the red. Just because her daughter wanted to go out with their friends after, like, cheer, or like after the park, they all went to Sephora, and she spent like $150 on a
social pressure. Now, I'm not gonna hold you, right? And as an adult, and you guys know I'm on social media. I look at certain things, and I too, as an adult, have moments where I'm looking through social media. I'm like, yo, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And I'm not traveling the world and doing this on a 24/7. Like, example, the weekends should be my work days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday through Friday should be my vacation days. Sometimes when I look at social media, I say to myself as an adult, 40 years old plus, yo, I need to get my shit together. You understand? So I can understand when you say as for kids have it terribly bad. They're bullied in school. They have the social media things, especially in different schools. You might have some rich kids. You might have that one kid, they can't afford the clothes, especially where schools don't do uniforms.
Oh.
I'm gonna say a school at Southwest, so you might know, Northwestern High School. When you go to that school, I don't know if they do uniforms still, but back in the day, if you didn't have the drove like day in and day out, Monday through Friday, you were getting picked on. You ain't had the freshest shoes on.
That's true.
You had some Bobo.
Remember Z Cavaricci's
on.
And Skids?
Listen, you're getting roasted 24/7 if you don't have the flyest stuff on. So now, I get it. You know what I mean? So my whole thing is with that, like, I get it. If you're mentally not there and have some grounding, some foundation within your home or your family of what's important and what's not important, boy, mentally you're gonna be gone. So I can understand that wholeheartedly.
But also, like, too, they're also dressing very like lazy too. So now it's not they wear Crocs all week long. So it kind of changed from your clothes in some cases to this. What did my client tell me about? Kurt Geiger.
Okay.
Her daughter wants a Kurt Geiger bag, and in the session,
time out. I don't know what that is.
I don't know who that is, right? So in the session, I was
okay.
like, "Oh, who is Kurt Geiger?" And she was like, "No, look it up." And I looked it up, and the purse probably this small. I mean, the $175 for like it looked like a penny purse. And her daughter is going to the 9th grade and wants a $200 pouch, basically. An actual
Mhm.
purse, like a size purse, was like $275.
You better go to
In
Walmart
the
and get it for
ninth
$10.
grade, she did not
Mm-mm.
want a book bag. She wanted a Kurt Geiger purse in the ninth grade. But they're wearing t-shirts, they're wearing sweats, and they're wearing Crocs. But that Kurt Geiger is like their accent piece now.
Yeah, I'm done. I can't. I don't I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
family and community involvement. All right, how important is family involvement in the mental health treatment for teens? What roles can communities play in supporting mental health for both teens and adults? Now, you did mention that
Mhm.
your youngest is 8. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Your oldest is 67. I want you to. This is because I got those two questions. You got those questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I will ask you, which one do you prefer to deal with? Older generation or the younger generation?
I prefer 13 to 18
Why?
because I used to direct the youth choir at church for 16 years. And it was 7th to 12th graders. And they're just my favorite group of people. I just
Okay.
love
Okay.
So
okay, go ahead.
It's a bias that I have, but I love like not and sometimes 12 to like 20, they're going through the most. And I don't feel like anybody understands them. And then they're shocked at like my age. I'm 36 years old, but they're like, "You're 36?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And I did that TikTok trend too that you were. So they don't think that
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I understand them, but I do.
Okay. So it's not like a bias like they're easy to deal with or they're more difficult. It's just more so you just you kind of have a heart for them per se.
I have a heart for them, but they are more difficult. They are the most difficult.
Okay.
When you love being a therapist, you love like the plot, the drama.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to sit
true.
who's like 27, doesn't know how to answer questions, scared, trembling, shaking in the session, and I'm like pulling teeth, like, "Oh, so how was your day? Good. Oh, did you go to that appointment? Yeah.
One word answers.
Oh, they gave me some medication. I don't know. Oh, okay. Did you start it yet? No, I'm scared to take medication because my daddy said.
But that's a good question. Let's talk about it. Do you feel like people who have mental health issues need to take medication? Because a lot of people.
She might. Yeah, and I think I know where she's going. So we're gonna move.
No.
You can answer that one.
I can about medication, being on medication.
Yeah. Should they?
I used to think that they shouldn't. I used to be scared of medication myself. I used to think that medication was like fake. Like
people think it's bad.
Water pills.
Yeah, people think like, oh, remember the infamous situation with Michelle Williams and her husband, the preacher guy, who was like, "Did you take your medication today?" And they were like, "Oh, how dare you say that to her?" But I look back on it now, and it's like maybe he was just being honest. Like, "Hey, did you take your medication today?" And they killed him for that. Remember, they destroyed him. I think they destroy
everybody. Everybody gets destroyed for medication.
Yeah, and they were, you're mocking her for taking medication. But I look back on it now, and it's like maybe he was on to something. What are your thoughts?
I just encountered and went through medication and just weaned myself off of medication a month ago.
Wow.
So after all this time and thinking it was fake and thinking it was for the Caucasians, I was having a mental breakdown and crying all the time and could not maintain myself at all. My sister was like, you have therapists, but you kind of might want to see a psychiatrist. So I got on.
G Money, what's happening?
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Listen, Miss Rebecca, I've been listening to you the whole time. As you can see, I got the I Stand On That podcast playing on the TV in the background.
Boom, boom.
I've just been trying to get some tech issues going on, but you were giving some great insight. Please don't let me interrupt.
No, I thought remember I asked him, how do people get on here? I thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, did somebody
would jump in on, yeah.
So
My bad.
I was on medication from October 2022 until June. So I did 1 year full of Prozac, also known as the happy pill. And it worked. And I woke up every day like, loving my life.
Yeah.
I'm not, when I tell you, I was on not even cloud 9, cloud 10.
Nice.
Like, it suppresses your desire for like emotional like disruption so well. And I only vouch for Prozac.
Wait, hold on. You ain't getting paid, are you?
No,
Exactly. I'm looking like,
okay.
Is she a pharmaceutical sales? Working for Pfizer?
I don't know if you can kickback checks. I don't know. So I had to ask the question. So I'm just asking.
No. I do know about other medications because of my clients and how they talk about it, but I can only vouch for what I was on. And when I tell you, just floating in the clouds, just nothing really bothered you. If it did, you didn't explode like you used to or cry like you used to. It was the best.
Go ahead, G-Man, since you just jumped on. Go ahead.
I just want to. So, are you still on Prozac?
No, I actually weaned myself off. I did a year of being on, and then with my psychiatrist's recommendation and support, keyword, do not get on medication and get off by yourself.
Please.
I started doing 3 times a day for 3 months, and then tweak for 3 months, then twice a week for 3 months, and then I took my last pill, like I think the weekend before Father's Day, like June something.
Wrap it up for that.
So, definitely. So, and here's why I'm asking the question, right? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, you were selling that thing, right? I was like, yo, I'm about to hop on some Prozac, right?
I mean, honestly.
But here's what I'm saying. Obviously, there's a goal, right? Like there's a reason why you got off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what I would say is if you could just now follow up it feels good, but like what should people if they are given some medication, right?
Side effects?
Responsibly taking it, what does that look like? Should there be a like end goal of saying, hey, don't like it shouldn't be a crutch for the rest of your life, like it's supposed to get you through a moment. I don't know. I'm relying on your expertise to say, hey, what should these people also walk away from this saying, you know what, if I need it, it's okay to take it, but if I don't need it, maybe I shouldn't. And what does it look like if you're on it too long? Is there a thing where you can be like, I'm on this too long?
Side effects. Yeah, that's what I was asking. Yeah, what are side effects of taking it?
Yeah, good question.
Primarily, I do feel like it is a crutch personally. I think that was my standard for myself. So I did not want to be on it for 5 years.
Before you took it, before
even taking it, I already knew that I didn't want to be on it. I took the first pill like scared.
Okay.
And then when I felt it, I was like, okay, a couple of weeks. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was like, I'm not about to be on medication for 3 years, 5 years. But the desire to do the work outside of just having the pills was a big motivation. Like I also wanted to be emotionally stable and not need medication and have anxiety attacks inside of Walmart. Like you still have to get to the root of why you're crying, why you're depressed, why you sleeping all day, why you waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Can I ask a question? Quick question. Alcohol and drugs, unprescribed drugs, can be a big factor in that too, because alcohol is like a downer, right? Alcohol is supposed to bring you down, right? So if you're drinking Hennessy every day, all day, you're gonna naturally be sad. Yay, nay?
Yeah. So the recommendation is to not drink alcohol while you're on medication.
That part.
But are you talking about marijuana or are you talking about?
Yeah, like cocaine, marijuana, heroin, all that stuff. Yeah, all that stuff. Because a lot of people are like, well,
two times for these gentlemen with the emphatic yes, marijuana, Mary Jane. Yes.
Shout out to G Money. Shout out to G Money. I'm not saying he has his card, so he's allowed to do it. But I'm messing with you, man.
Well,
but I'm making jokes. I'm making jokes, guys. I'm making jokes. But a lot of people try to medicate by drinking alcohol, and then they wonder why they're so sad, all the time. Is that a cause of depression as well? Because people are like, I don't know why I'm so depressed, but you're drinking Hennessy every day, 3 times a day,
Well, actually, alcohol and marijuana specifically bring your serotonin down, which is your happy juice. It brings your happy juice down. Whereas
wait, hold on. Wait. Say that one more time. So people can hear. Say that one more time. I feel like we at poetry venue. Rewind. Say that one more time. Say that one more time. There you go. So people can hear.
Alcohol and marijuana bring down your natural serotonin inhibitors, like your happy juice inhibitors that we get on a regular basis from sunlight, from walking, from exercise that we get regularly. Alcohol and marijuana do bring that down already.
Didn't know that.
Okay, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so you're lowering your happy juices anyway, to feel the high or to feel the.
So if I smoke weed in the sunlight, does it balance out?
It might.
I knew that was coming.
I walk around the neighborhood
that was
in the
coming.
sunlight smoking weed. Does that balance out my serotonin?
It will feed it back to you as you're decreasing it. Yes.
Oh,
wow,
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but medication is giving it to you, more of it. So you're all the time. You can kind of manage yourself emotionally just on medication. But I know people on medication and smoke, and they're fine.
And I appreciate you saying that, because I know this is a totally different thing, but most people wouldn't consider caffeine a drug. I do.
It is.
And I've told my kids, listen, my daughter wants a cup of coffee so bad.
G-Money, could you clarify what's considered caffeine? Is it like Coca-Cola? Specific things?
All of it.
Consider caffeine?
It's actually. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to say, when I was referring to it, I'm referring to it because my kids, right? My kids used to ask, and Marley is 16. She's still asking. She's like, hey, I want coffee. And I'm like, no. I'm like, your body naturally produces things that allow you to have energy, right? So when you start putting the fake version of it inside your body thinks, hey, I don't need to do this anymore, right? And so I've always been able to keep my kids off the caffeine thing as long as I could, right? So I would go to Starbucks and say, give me a caramel ribbon crunch with no caffeine, right? No coffee.
So what is the substitute for soda? For soda then? Is it like juice or water?
Water. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie to you. I tell my kids all the time, drink water. And listen, I always tell them, listen, daddy making bad choices. But I'm 40, right? I'm 42 years old. So there's I've already made my mistakes. I'm trying to teach you to be better than I was. And some of the choices. And so even now, my son he's a wateraholic, right? He still works out every day.
2 times for that SAT word.
Wateraholic, he really doesn't drink much of anything else unless he's a college student. So unless it's what college students drink, that part, right? But he's still an athlete and all of that stuff. But my daughter, I can see my daughter. She's physically fit. All of the things that I used to be back in the day that I am not currently today, right? And what we want is our kids to be better than us. So I shout you out for saying that, because even now in my age, I'm learning, because I did not realize. Maybe I should say it was the things I knew that I didn't know I knew, right? Like it was that knowledge underneath that surface that, you know what? If I'm relying on this to do this, right? Because the body actually does everything you need it to do if you just let it do what it does, right? And so shout out to you for putting that out there, because I think a lot of people forget, if you do it in moderation, right? All things can be okay in moderation, but if we overdo it, we're really killing something inside ourselves, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah.
And I was going to say that caffeine is on our intake paperwork. So when we're completing our intake, and I'm like, oh, any addiction history? They're like, oh, addiction's like what? I do that purposely and ask them what they think addiction is or a history of addiction is. And then I go down the list that's in our intake and they're like, caffeine? I'm like, yeah, caffeine is on our addiction list.
And if I could say this, Miss Rebecca, right? I literally just went to war with my wife, right? Because she's like, you got a Starbucks problem, bro. Like, and it's to the point where like making coffee at home does nothing for me, right? I need people to understand, like, I'm being real. I got 700 stars at Starbucks.
This guy.
I got 700 stars, son. I'm like, I'm going crazy with it, son. And it's because no other coffee right now at this point is actually helping, right? I'm talking about, I'm getting 6 espresso shots in a drink type time. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I think she gave me that face like, we need to do a session. We need to come in. I need to do an intake form. Let's talk now, immediately after this call. Look.
I can get the family rate. I'm down for it. I can get the family rate. I'm down for it.
No, but honestly, I know someone who lost several teeth from Diet Coke. I'm not gonna hold you.
Whoa! Look at the face. Look at the face.
Teeth.
Yeah.
Okay. Pulled her teeth out in the session, and I was like,
from Diet Coke.
She didn't do it in moderations.
She did not do it in moderation. She has a every session, one in her bag and one in her hand every session.
Damn.
Every session, and literally pulled her teeth out and showed me the spaces that were missing.
Wow.
From not stopping the Diet Coke years ago when they told her to stop.
You
rotted her teeth.
You could have told her that wasn't. You believed her. She didn't have to show you.
Well, she did it so quick.
She ain't had to show. I believe you, Shawty.
Yeah.
So I would recommend you. Maybe you have an addictive personality that you might want to.
No, I can tell you right now. Oh. Don't. I am very self-aware.
Okay.
That I don't gamble because I have an addictive personality. What I didn't and like even when I'm working out. Right, like if I'm in it, I'm in like deep in, and I can't stop. Right, and if I'm not in it, then I'm just not in it. Right, and so it's hard. Right.
Hey, hold on. Two time for Miss Joseph. Number 5. Check your kidneys function, please. Wow.
And I'll be the first one to tell everybody on here that like I had acute renal failure back in 2012. Right.
There you go.
And I'm gonna just tell you straight up too. It ain't nothing. I will say this: it ain't nothing but divine energy that brought me all the way back. So I was going in and had to have straight dialysis done. And one day the doctor was just like, "Dude, your kidneys are working fine." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Nah, for real." And so for the last 10 years, I have not had to do anything specifically related to my kidneys, but what I can tell you is I know if I'm ODing because I'll feel that in my back and I'll be like, okay, time to get right. Get your water gain.
Are those your symptoms? Because Courtney just mentioned, what are your symptoms? Okay.
It's that lower back pain for me. Every single time it's like lower back pain or dark urine. If I got dark urine, normally my urine is like water. Hard road. Normally my urine is like water, right? But if it starts getting dark, then I know that I'm ODing. But the good news for me, Miss Rebecca, I got some self-control, right?
Yeah.
I just drink water like all day long. But it's that initial kick of energy in the morning. I am Starbucks hooked right now. And I'm trying to get off of it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I have an addictive personality as well. I have phases of things that I'm addicted to at a time. So gotta watch it.
You ain't got to help nobody else. Your presence today has just helped me because I promise you, I'm about to get off.
I didn't know that about Coca-Cola. I'm a Coca-Cola fiend. I don't eat. I don't eat sweets. I don't eat sweets at all. I don't eat cake, cookies. So how I get my sugar is through Coca-Cola, because I get these sugar rushes. I'm like, I need something sweet, so I drink Coca-Cola. But I didn't know that.
Eat some fruit, brother.
Yeah, I might need to do that. You're right. I might need to switch it up. Jeez.
Yeah, I used to have a Pepsi every day with lunch.
Yeah.
Pepsi every day.
shout out to Mr. Daily Insight, right? Miss Rebecca, I want you to know this. I'm serious. I got a problem. I need your help. So he said, eat some fruit, right? So my wife was like, all right, I'm going to buy you some fruit, right? She buys apples, bananas, strawberries, blueberries, right? And so now I put fruit in everything. I put fruit in my oatmeal. I put fruit in
Those
my
are the peels.
cereal.
Those are the peels. I just had an orange and apple before I got on there.
Listen,
so, those are
I
peels.
will eat a week's worth of fruit in 2 days right now, because once again, it's like if I replace something with something, I know me, I'm gonna OD on it, right? So I'm working on that, right? Because it's really all about balance, right? And kind of finding a way to quench those urges.
Yeah.
And it's when you use all of
She's like,
Hey, that's the church finger.
stuff,
That's the church finger. Give one church finger. Come on, go ahead,
Yeah.
Rebecca.
So the root of like most addictions, and I hate to be therapeutic, but this is
Nah, do it.
we get a free session today. Bill us later. Bill us later.
Right, I got openings.
Is this the first time you've had a session with a cigar smoker? Because I'm smoking one as we speak.
So the reason that most people have addiction issues is a substitute issue. So for something that you're lacking. So I would ask you to, reconsider what you're lacking that you feel like caffeine is said replacing. We put air quotes because it really isn't. It's just gratifying. It's an instant gratification. I would want you to seek out what the long-term gratification is that you need so that you can replace that addiction.
Listen, I'm telling you, I know the answer, but I don't want to. I'm not putting it out there for the world right now.
Right.
Yeah,
HIPAA. We don't want to violate HIPAA.
Rebecca, I got to get with you later. I got to get with you later. We're gonna get up.
Exactly.
All right. So, family and community involvement. How important is family involvement in the mental health treatment routine, and what role can communities play in supporting mental health for both teens and adults?
First question, family involvement is very important. One thing that I always say to all of my clients is that, especially children, when I see children, it's usually the parents who brought you to therapy. They bring kids to therapy to fix children. And I always say, I don't fix children, I don't fix anybody, but more than likely it is your parent who is making you have the mental health issues that you have. So I blame parents for all of it, which is why they should be involved. It's usually the parent who needs therapy and doesn't know how to help their child, but they bring their child instead, and that's because they're...
Time out. I'm finna get personal.
Whoa, boy.
I'm finna get personal. I'm getting personal now. My baby's mother. All right. This is what my oldest.
Shout out to her, by the way.
Yes. Shout out to her.
Loyal listener.
So, no. She talk about. Listen, she's here. She's hitting me in my heart. She's hurting my heart right now in a good way. She's coming down my lane. So that's why I've already knew that what you said. So brought the child in, say, hey, she speaks to me. Hey, listen, I think our child needs therapy. I don't know why. She's fine. I think.
How old is your daughter?
She's 9. She's 9. Okay. She's 9. So she goes back and forth, 7 days with me, 7 days with her mom. So I agree with it. I say, let's go in, let's talk. So she goes in, does a few sessions with them, and I come along. So they do the sessions with all of us. Cool, I guess, whatever. Then she says, and she knows this as a therapist, hey, can I do a session with you and, the father of your child? Ooh. She's hesitant. She says, I said, oh, I'm good. Let's go. I want to talk. Let's go. We need to talk. Look. She's hesitant. So we go in a session. I'm the first one to talk. Hey, these are the issues, X, Y, Z, Y. Go to her. She gets up, say, can I have a moment? I need a moment. Can I take 5 minutes? I need a break. Right? I address all the issues up front, and I'm being vulnerable and open. I want us to be amicable in situations and talk so we can kind of come together for the goodness of our child. Not your child, not mine, but our child. So then at that moment, she calls me. I say, hey, how the session's going with the mother of the child? Oh, I've been calling her. She's not talking to me. She's not doing the one-on-one. She's not being vulnerable. So at this point, I'm going to have to cancel all of you guys. You have to go somewhere else, basically. Oh. So my point, and when you said that, it just hit home when you said that regarding it's normally for the parent. It's not the child, it's the parent for the most part. So that's kind of hit home. That's all I wanted to say. I'm sorry, guys. I got triggered.
Miss Rebecca, I just wanted you to know, right? I felt like we were going to do this to you, right? And I didn't want this to happen this way. So I got legal counsel on the call. Mr. D-Pies, Mr. Hard. Right?
What's good? Hey, Rebecca. How you doing?
Listen, super duper intelligent dude. He's a tax attorney, but he also then turned around and was like, listen, I can handle anything. Criminal defense. Listen, if you hurt yourself in an accident, if you get hit by a truck, call DA. I'm telling you, he's gonna help you out. I promise you that time. And if they try to get Miss Rebecca, if they try to throw something on you, just call Mr. D. Listen, Hard Road.
I got liability insurance, $1 million coverage, honey.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
That's what it is.
Look at that big smile on his face. He's like, "That's money. That's money."
That's what it is.
So we could get back to the second part of the question was, what can people do in the community to help? I would actually want people in the community to pay for an initial session for someone that they think needs therapy. I've done that before and it has worked. Like I've paid for someone's session and I was like, hey girl, I paid for your first session. I'm not playing with you no more. I think if people went in just one time and saw the freedom that you feel from talking to someone that does not know you, you'll come back. So I think that as a community, if people want mental health to do better, I think that people should support people by obviously telling them to go finding resources. If you want a Black therapist, obviously try to find a Black therapist. If you want a female therapist or a male therapist for your son or daughter, do that. But then pay for their first session, like pay for their intake session and let them sit there and see the freedom that they feel. That will more than likely get, I would say 80% like a turnaround for the person to come back.
And just to piggyback on what you're saying, Ms. Rebecca, because here's what I would tell you, right? And what I do, right? I often, and shout out to
Courtney. Yes. Good game.
City of Tamarack is offering 6 sessions. That's what's
up.
Wow.
Yeah, big time.
And so I work at one of the greatest universities in the world.
Lord. Oh Lord, here we go.
Highest to 7 Hills, and so in the effort to try to cultivate some of those students, right? And I specifically work at the law school, right, where there's a huge stigma in the legal community when it comes to mental health, right? There's a reason and a rationale for that, right? Most people don't know that you actually have the right to be a human being and have issues, and you can go talk to a counselor, and there's protections in that for you so that you don't have to worry about all of that. And so we actually have a great relationship with the counseling services team in Tallahassee, but because we're 4 hours away, right? So what we had to do was we had to build a wellness program for our students. But one of the things we also did was we got Better Mind, so our students could actually call in, and with Better Mind, they get 6 free sessions from us, and they can call in, and the counselor can go ahead and give them extended sessions if there's a need for long-term care on certain issues. So I'm saying that to say there are students that I know that would have never gone to get a counseling session in this under any circumstances. But when they found out that they could do it for free, and when they found out that they could do it outside of the realm of the community that they thought might judge or know them, right? Like there's all of these caveats that people have, these walls that people have built up. And once people started going, Miss Rebecca, they started going back, right? Yeah. But it was getting them there was the hard part, right? And so we all have these barriers, and we all have these things that that we're concerned about when it comes to sharing, and especially in the Black community when we're taught. I don't know about everybody else. My mama told me, what happens in my house stays in my house. You better not let it come back to me that you done went out there and told somebody about something that happened in my house.
That's your ass.
So, and in that vein of things, right, it's hard to be open and share, right? And so I appreciate you for what you're saying, which is, dude, if you know somebody needs some help,
yes,
Just get them in the door.
Get them in the door, because I don't think people realize that we're all walking around here traumatized, right? Like, the healthiest you will ever be is before you even learn how to speak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, once you actually get this thing down called communication, it happens. It happens fast and it happens bad, where you're traumatized. Like, my son told me the other day, he was like, your voice alone when I was a kid kind of had me like, ugh, right? Because as a man with a deeper voice, right, it was like, you know, you could almost see the babies like jolt when I would speak, right? Because my voice was a little bit louder, a little bit deeper. And so I just don't know what effects, and I don't know what my kids remember. I'm learning now some of the things that my kids had in their mind, right?
Oh, I was there. I remember.
Yeah.
I was there. I remember, buddy.
Thanks. I did the best I could at 19. I did the best I could at 19.
You were a great father. You know,
the thing is, we can heal ourselves from that too, right? By creating the right environment for people to talk and have those conversations. And it took me to have counseling and therapy for me to tell my kids, like, yeah, no, tell me when I'm wrong. Like, tell me if you think, if you
respectfully though
hurts, if something bothers you, like, let's come at it. Like, I don't care how you bring it to me.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't say that, Miss Daily Insight.
I don't care how you bring it to
me. When they get grown, they don't have to get respectful, Mr. Daily Insight. You're not gonna tell your 30, 40-year-old kid, be respectful. They're gonna look at you like, big buddy, I'm a man now. So, you know.
All right.
Well, hey, I agree. There's consequences to that too, though. There's consequences.
Hey, it's gonna be some things. Yeah. Hey,
let me ask a question. Let me ask this question. What effect do you think Black people have? Black people from the standpoint of our history, meaning being in slavery, it being in our DNA, right? Jim Crow has on mental health. Meaning, is it something that you think might be just in our DNA, just in our blood, embedded in us, that we just naturally have mental health issues from the trauma that maybe our ancestors went through, even if it was hundreds of years ago? You know, do you feel like there's some people who feel like we are naturally prone to mental health and having issues because it's just in our DNA because of slavery and Jim Crow era and things like that? Do you believe in that?
Believing it to the core, no, but I have watched like podcasts and different people speak on it. There's a woman that a friend of mine gave me. It was like a hour long like lecture she gave on the fact that we do generationally have that trauma that brings us down. And as a psychologist, obviously, I trust hypothesis and different experiments that have been done. They did an experiment with rats and rats in a healthy situation and put another set of rats in a distressed situation, and then let them have children. And then the children of the ones in the community that were like, yeah, they had water, they had food, they had everything, they fed them every day. The children, after they took the parents out, the mother out, flourished. And then the rats who had the distressed environment, when they took the mother out, became even more distressed. And they did that, I believe, for 3 or 4 generations of rats, like children, and all of the distressed children from the original distressed environment, all of the children they had, and then the grandchildren, and then grandchildren for like 4 generations of rats were all distressed. They didn't know how to walk around. They would like fail these little like mazes, quizzes that the rats would give them. They were just like all in disarray. And then the other environment, they were like flourishing, passing the little maze tests and all. And they were like smart, and all of their children and grandchildren.
Now, and this is why I say when these Caucasian persuasion families say, "Oh, it was 400 years ago. Get over it." You're just proving the point that we still suffer from these things. Now, not saying we should dwell in that and wallow in it. Get the help, get better, and move on from it. So. Thank you for that. Coach G, man, you got your hand up.
Let me say something.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. D5, Mr. Lawyer. Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
No, I've just been listening, Rebecca. You've been very informative.
Thank you.
The whole time I've been listening. And so it makes me like I like the question that Sid asked, because it makes me look at it slightly differently from the standpoint, slavery, Jim Crow, they're not only social, but they're also economic. You know what I mean? Like if you're not hungry, not only do you not have food, but you also may not have the means to get the food, right? Or food is hard to get. And so I'm thinking about it in terms of, well, slavery may have been over, but a traumatic economic experience still persists. You see what I'm saying? So I wonder if, like, it seems to me like the only solution would be a radical shift in literally the wealth of the people who are going through the stress. Like, right? Like if you eradicated like 50% of the poverty in the Black community, it's hard for me to believe that we would still be, feeling a certain kind of way if all of our material needs are pretty much dealt with, and we have enough material possession to then go get the other things that we need. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that to me, that trauma was the trauma of yesterday, but there's new trauma today, right? We're still getting out of mass incarceration or trying to crawl our way out of what that did to our community. That had nothing, you know what I'm saying? And that means that we have real people, real brothers, real sisters, real fathers, real mothers who just either recently got out or never coming out, or if we're talking about the war on drugs, they're permanently dead. They'll never come back to life. That person could have been a productive member of that family unit, but now that family doesn't have that person in their family anymore, right? So I wonder, is it more so, is it the trauma or is it the current reality? It's still materially the same as far as how people are living. Because I think that if you have more money or you have a little bit, or you're in a different environment in general, most of that shit kind of probably goes away. You know what I mean? But I'd like to hear your opinion on that.
That reminds me of the illustration. Have you guys ever seen the illustration on social media? Well, Sid, we know you haven't.
I like it. Right. I like it. I like her already.
It's like well, they've been using coffee, but it's like dirty water. And then they pour like a pitcher into the dirty water, and some of it gets clean, and they say like grandma, and then they pour it into the mom, and then it kind of gets cleaner, and then they pour it into the child, and it gets cleaner, and then like it's supposed to like get, basically the dirt and the mud is supposed to come out. It's like we're experiencing that, and then there's always someone who's just throwing dirt like
extra.
Like we could never really just pour in and fill and pour in and clean it up, and pour in and clean it up. The illustration is, it ends with a clean cup of water. They talk about it like what spiritually, they say that God does that. They say that generational, like healing does that. And then Black people just have like just someone there, just like always just, so it never really gets clean. So when you say Deep Eyes, when you say like the environment, there's always something that just throws dirt back in the cup that we're trying to get clean.
Yeah, and for me, in that environment, it's other people.
Right.
It's other people. It's in the very real sense of other people who have other goals and aspirations, and who sometimes those people's goals and aspirations require your subjugation in order for them to achieve their goal. And so I look at it like that. You know what I mean? There's always other people, however people want to classify it these days. To me, it's pretty clear who they are. And I think that's an element of, I was watching, so I just came back from a trip to St. Lucia, and I was watching couples therapy. I was like, yo, I've seen this clip pop up on social media a lot. I just want to see a couple episodes to see whether or not I like it. I got mixed feelings about it, but I saw an episode where someone said, where the therapist said, there's a level of trauma that you're just gonna have to deal with. You know what I mean? There's just a level that, there's certain, the scar is gonna be there. You know what I mean? And you're just gonna have to live with the scars. And I just think that we just haven't had too much time to let the scar just be a scar, right? it's been other people, other situations, sometimes within the community, most times without. Sometimes it's the people with the money, sometimes it's people without it, who keep lifting that keep opening the wound. You know what I'm saying? That keep opening the wound. And so I think there's a level of we got to deal. Go talk about it.
I just want to chime in here because you forgot about sometimes the key person picking at that scab is self. Right?
Absolutely.
Right. So let's not forget that sometimes when you're picking at that scab because you don't like the way it looked, because it's drying out your skin and your arm itching, and right, sometimes you can be picking at your own scab. And a lot of times what we want to do is we want to talk about how everybody else fucking with the scab, but we're not talking about how it messes with us. Right. And so in true DA fashion, right, the eradication of the scabation will lead to the determination of a nation of millions. You know what I mean? You came on here like Louis Farrakhan for a minute.
I mean, there's always going to be there's always personal responsibility, right? You know what I'm saying? There's always personal accountability and playing with the cards, playing the hand that you're dealt. You know what I'm saying? But I think we would be remiss to say, like, some of the trauma is because of the other things the other forces that exist, and we just got to deal with that. We got to learn to deal with that, or we have learned to deal with that. I guess the question is, how can we better deal with that?
We have dealt with it because, you understand, we have situations where we're 20 steps back, but we still achieve the goal, even though our other predecessors already had a 20 steps ahead of us, and we still come out on top. So that just goes to show we're prevalent. We're basically conquerors. We can do more, with less. Even though we're in these situations, guess what? We can still overcome them. But it doesn't help the situation. It just makes us fight harder to dig deeper.
And if I could just say this, and I know we got to move on because I'm trying to talk about these bonnets, Miss Rebecca.
Yeah. And I got a quick question. One more quick question for it too, by the way. Go ahead.
But here's what I wanted to, and Miss Rebecca, you could correct me if you've heard anything different, right? I've just been dealing with a lot of this stuff lately as far as just trying to promote these things for other people within what I do at work, right? And listen, every medical person I've ever talked to, every counselor, they've all said, listen, there are healthy levels of stress that we all need to have in our life, right? Like not all stress apparently is bad stress, right? I would assume, right, that maybe not all trauma, it's not that trauma is going to be good, but there's a level of it that helps drive and motivate. I think a lot of times what we forget, listen, let me say this. Are we the fastest because we had to run from slavery, right? Like, are we the strongest because we had to do the work that we had to do? Like, I don't know how much of what we've been through has created the strength that we exhibit within the community that we're in, right? Because at the end of the day, you have two choices. You live or you either live or you die, right? You even in surviving, you are finding a way to live, right? Because we all know that once you give up, it's over, right? The day you stop trying, it pretty much is the beginning of the end. And so as long as we are pushing back against whatever that adversity that we're facing is, it can be somewhat healthy, right? And then it could also be somewhat debilitating. And I think that's an individual question, right? That I wish that we could all just have like this standard, right? And that's why I push back against the idea of equality, right? I don't push for equality. I push for fairness, right? If I give my daughter $100 and say, go do whatever you want, she can come back home with 10 outfits, 2 pairs of shoes, some earrings and accessories. I give my son $100, right? He coming back with a t-shirt and some shorts, right? Because just the cost of living and price of paying for things. So fairness to me is, I'm going to give you 5 outfits. I'm going to give you 5 outfits. I'm going to give you a pair of shoes, you a pair of shoes. And it may not cost the same, but it's fair, right? And so what I look for is fairness in what we're doing, right? And what I look for is people that don't know how to push back against that adversity, finding a way to help them get to the tools and the resources they need. Because I know I'm not always the right resource, but if I can connect you to the right resource, And so I can tell you this, Miss Rebecca, from now on, anybody that falls in your demographic, I'm like Mr. Peanut, FSU. I don't even like saying FSU, but I gotta say FSU Peanut 12. He did throw out there, how much do you charge? Right? That's what the world wants to know at some point in time. I want to make sure that we have a way of pointing them in your direction. So whatever information you can give us, I will be sending you some referrals if you are open to new clients.
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so let them know where you are, location, if you do it online, all those different type of things as well.
Okay, so I work in Coral Springs, Florida. We do take all of Florida. So I do virtual and in person. We do take Aetna, Cigna, United, Blue Cross, and all of the Florida Blues and all of the everybody blue. We also take Oscar under United. For some, well, I don't know how, but Charlo, they don't got Obamacare to be a part of United, so we take Oscar because of United. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I just got a new client. I was like, how did we get this client? She's like, oh yeah, it goes under Oscar. It goes under United. So we do that, and then we do private pay. So private pay right now is $125 because I'm an intern. But once
wait. Okay. So once you're out of the intern, once you're officially, what will be the price then?
It will be $150 to $175. So right now my range as an intern is $100 to $125. And then
shout out to you for being at the top of that too. Shout out.
Well, we thank
God. Shout out for being at the top. Don't do it. Don't be humble. Shout out for being at the top of that.
And then when I do pass, it'll be $150 to $175 range. I was taking clients outside of that for $65 an hour, but the expectation of the office that I work for has grown so much, and they were like, why are you taking these gaps and all of these things? So I had to tell people, like, I can't take people for lower, outside of that, because I couldn't. They were filling up my schedule. So I work for an agency called Genesis Counseling, Florida. Everyone at the agency has to have their own business. So I have my own LLC, which is Throne Counseling Services. So Throne Counseling Services is contracted through Genesis Counseling for therapy.
Nice. I love that name too.
Throne Counseling Services.
Oh, I love
it. Yes, because I have a umbrella business called Air Global, HEIR, like Heir to the Throne of God. So I got the name from that. So Air Global owns Throne Counseling Services.
Ooh, I like it.
Nice.
I like it.
Thank you. Shout out to my sister, period.
Shouts out to Sid. Y'all silly. All right. So, any other questions?
I guess my last question would be: is there a point where you would tell you would either tell the client, or you've already made a decision in your head with a client that this person, I can't help them, so let me just go ahead and drop them or not answer their phone call anymore? There's a famous scene in The Sopranos, my favorite show of all time, shout out to The Sopranos, where Dr. Melfi realized that Tony Soprano was gaming her the entire show, where she's like, wait a minute, you just coming here just to talk and vent, but my therapy sessions are not really doing any good for you because you're just, you're a psychopath or a sociopath.
You're a piece of crap, basically.
Yeah. So is there a point where you'd be a therapist and say, look, thank you for your money. Thank you for your time. You've been coming to me for 2 years.
I'm going to tell her no.
We're not really.
I'm going to answer for her. She taking all clients. She taking all clients.
In 2.5 years, I've only had to do that one time. And that was
so much daily insight.
One time this year, a client wanted me to see her father. She had run away from home because of the father. The father was an alcoholic, and that whole thing. I tried to see him, and at the intake session, the way he spoke about his daughter, I knew that I could not see the both of them. He had everything was about her. She's the problem. You need to help her. You need to this and that. I've been on harder drugs, cocaine. Like, what is alcohol? What is a few beers? I was like, see, if you're comparing a few beers to cocaine, you're not ready. Like, I said, I get to the intake and I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to get from your sessions, whatever? And he was like, I want to get my daughter back in the house. He said nothing about his addiction, nothing about like the abuse. He had slapped her down, all types of things. The mom had come in and said that her husband was indeed an alcoholic and all the things. And he was like, oh yeah, the goal is to get my family like back on track. I'm like, if you piss test right now, it might have cocaine in it, and you want the goals of therapy to get your family back on track. I immediately discharged him. Like, I completed the intake. I spoke to him and I told my supervisor, I'm going to have to transfer him to someone else and continue to see his daughter, because he wanted me to be in cahoots and talk bad about his child. And I already been seeing her for a couple of months, and that was
gotcha. Makes sense.
I was like, oh no, you're not about to sit here and talk like trash about your daughter. So that. But on the other hand, I have tried to discharge clients like, okay, girl, well, you've graduated, you've reached a point. I had a client tell me that last month, and we did weekly, bi-weekly, and now monthly. And I was like, I think that you're out of the crisis, stage. And, you've learned so many coping skills. And she was like, are you trying to break up with me? And I was like, oh my gosh, can we? And she was like, no. I was like, you think so? She was like, no, I still need to talk to you. I can't say all these things to anybody else. So people do still need that narrative counseling, or like what they call like narrative therapy, talk therapy. Some people just need to tell me things that they will not tell anybody else.
Yes.
So I have several clients who come on a bi-weekly or monthly basis that I'm just like, okay, so did you divorce him yet? No, but last week, let me tell you how we got it. And they just da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, well, your homework is to go to the clerk's office and at least get the packet.
Exactly.
Like, just get the divorce packet. And they'll come and see me and they're like, I didn't do the homework, but let me tell you how we went on a family trip. And I'm like,
it's just a venting session. They just want to just get it out.
Yeah. Because they can't tell their sister, they can't tell their in-laws, they can't tell their children. So they go
into the grave. To that one.
And I'm like,
and you're gonna know their deeper secrets and stuff.
I tell my clients, if you tell me you have a body in your trunk, I'm gonna say, what do you plan on doing with that? That's it. I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna. Okay, what are our plans for this body in your trunk? Whatever you want to do, let's do it. Let's get to it. Like, are you burying it? Passing to the police? What do you think?
Nice.
Some people don't believe.
Cool.
So all right. So basically, guys. If you guys want to follow her on her Instagram page or any emails, shout that out real quick, Rebecca, for everybody to know where to find you, what website that they can go to find your services, your company, and go from there. And then we're going to transition, because I heard the reinforcements are already coming for this next conversation. So go ahead.
So Rebecca J Sings _ is where you can find me, because I'm also a singer. I sing at open mics, funerals.
Nice.
So forth. So that page is kind of like just to like get to me. And I'm also a 3-time self-published author of poetry books. But that's not why we're here.
You ain't bragging.
That's not why we're here.
Nice.
But you can find me on there, DM me, and then if you need like to give me your insurance for the for therapy or anything like that, you can just say, hey, I saw you on the podcast, whatever. And we can get into it. I have sessions available at any point. So Rebecca J Sings __, you can just DM me there. The page is open. You can check me out there.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. For our sponsors, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna jump right into this thing.
And now, a message from our sponsors.
People always tell me, Jason, man, you throw the greatest parties. What's your secret? And I say, actually, it's pretty simple. 2 rules. Rule number 1, don't ever run out of Gibbs Reserve wine. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. Gibbs Reserve wine. You'll love the way it tastes.
Remember, always drink responsibly.
All right, y'all.
Can we comment on
yes.
in the chat?
Yes, you can. Anybody can comment.
No, can I comment to them?
Yes, I think.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Just go ahead and type in there. Yep. Hey, look, we got a buyer already.
Anyways, don't play. Courtney, Courtney.
That is hilarious.
Courtney, me and you have to have some conversations. You should have been known about Gibbs Reserve Wine, but I'm gonna get with you. Don't worry, I'm gonna be texting you soon. As soon as the podcast is over, I got plenty. I got a case with your name on.
Yeah,
Shoot
your put your Instagram, I guess, so y'all can get in contact on here. So he can jot it down, and he can get in contact. So yeah, definitely. And these are party stoppers. Listen, we had these at the parties.
Yes,
trust me.
Yes.
She said she got hers already. Okay.
Yes.
Katie.
All right, guys. The moments y'all been waiting for. I've been having some conversations with a few folks. I've been talking to my coworkers, talking to my moms. They're talking to a lot of different people about the appearances of women when they go out. All right. Now, what the heck am I talking about? Am I talking about dirty shoes? No. Am I talking about holes in your shirts? No. Am I talking about booty shorts? No, I'm not. What I'm talking about, yes, bonnets on top of the head. All right. So I'm going to give y'all a little backstory. So I was in the store. I seen a young woman with a bonnet on her head. She had a bonnet on her head. She had shoes on, slippers, and a flannel polka dot pants and a black shirt on. I said, I'm just going to take a video, a shot, a picture, and I'm going to talk about it on my Instagram. So guess what? Therefore, I did it. I had a lot of responses, and kind of to let you guys know, that actual video got took down on TikTok. It got taken down because of harassment and something else, right? Their TikTok policy. So somebody got so upset. I don't think it was you, Rebecca, that said it, that did it. But somebody took the video down. You understand? So me and Rebecca, we went back and forth. And I'm gonna play this clip. It's about 2-3 minutes long, so y'all can have a backstop. So it's gonna be a few things coming up. So I want y'all to see this, and then we're gonna get into why she felt the way she felt about it. All right. So let's get in here. All right, play the video.
That's right. Continue to wear these bonnets.
I just want to know why y'all be lying. If a person finds you attractive, a person finds you attractive. It doesn't matter what you have on.
Be sure to check us out this Sunday, 11:30.
All right, hold on. Let me see.
What up, folks? It's Bonnet Chronicles, Part 1. Tune in. Story time. All right, so there is a video that I posted, and I'm going to kind of just have you guys go to a link on one of my other pages because, honestly, the entire video was, somebody called it in and said it was harassment and bullying. So I'm going to give y'all a link or a place to go watch the entire video so you can have some content. All right, so I posted the video, and, there was a lot of people. One, I wasn't wasting my time. I didn't go out of my way to post this video or to talk about her. I was shopping. I saw it. Some feeling came upon me. Some urge to say, I gotta talk about this. Bonnets in the store, in public, it's a no-no. Now, one may say, why am I not talking about guys? Now, contrary to one's belief, I see more women with bonnets on their head compared to guys with do-rags. Next time you're out and about, how many bonnets can you see compared to do-rags that guys wear? Try it. You'll see. Again, she said I shouldn't be wasting my time doing it.
Rebecca, thank you for your comments. I do really appreciate them. Good, better, and different. Now,
I have better things to do. I said, really? Okay. So she said it wasn't cool. I said, she on my page. Again, her opinions were unsolicited. I didn't ask for them, but she gave them to me. So I went on her page. I said, hey, the little dance, the little dance, let's go look. That little dance, I can't forget the rapper name. He was doing it. I say, you doing that dance, and that's why you doing a dance.
your page, but I keep it to myself. Or if I see you in the streets, or if I want to message you, hey man, you should stop dancing on TikTok. It's not helpful for you. It's not benefiting you. I can do that. But I'm not going to this is putting on blast. You know what I mean?
So, and she kind of tried to say it wasn't the same. And I said, it is. It's exactly the same. You on
So I think we got enough context, and we got enough context in regards to the whole story. So we're going to have Rebecca give her 2 cents on why she was going back and forth. And she wasn't the only one. I had maybe 10 different females talking about this. We had a guy, he was talking about why he would never talk to a woman with a bonnet on her head, no matter how she looked. So Rebecca, the time is here. Why did you have such strong feelings about me posting and spending my time talking about another woman in a bonnet? Please, the people want to know. Let the people know.
Okay. So people don't know you, or when I was doing the podcast, people were like, how did you get into the situation with this person? How did you end up arguing? And what people don't know is that I know Lump in real life. So I know his mother, his father, his brother, his sister. You know, I've been to his childhood home. I've known him since I was a child. So it did not come from a place of who is this stranger talking about women and bonnets, which I just think is just lame in general. But it was, how is Lump talking about this? The first time I saw it, I was like, this is an interesting topic for Lump. Like, okay, so I passed the first one. The one that you did with the flannel wasn't your first one. I saw the first one, I was like,
the one she had the bonnet she was her back was towards me. Basically.
Right, I think she was closer in the line, and I was like,
correct. That was that was the first.
Like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And then when I saw people comment, I was like, oh, okay, child, well, do what you feel is best. And then I saw the second one with the girl in the full body, half her face was shown, and I felt like people could like find this woman. And I don't know if people know that people on TikTok find people all the time. Like people will say, find this girl for me, and literally within hours, it's like, oh, it's at Daily Mr. and he's in or like all of the things within hours. So I was like, and then people in the comments were like saying all these different things, and I'm like, you know, for somebody who has a spouse and children who are girls, Lump personally, not anyone else, I was like, I just feel like he could be talking about his children, how, you know, he wants his daughters to be like projected. I don't know if he's trying to go viral, but it feels like it's his desire to go viral. And I'm being honest, in a sense.
Hey, wait, hold on. Remember, this is a joke though, but remember the social pressures, that was part of it. I wanted to go viral, so that was my moment. I.e., right? So there we go.
So I was like, you know, people get 300,000 likes from talking about their date night with their wife, how they took their wife to this and this and that. And he's on social media talking about, oh, well, this is why y'all finna stay single. And I'm like, why is he worried about people being single when he could like be more positive? Because that's what I know him to be, not for any other reason, because I know this man to be like a football player, high school, this teacher. Like, it wasn't like just a random person. I'm like, this is a weird chain of events for this particular person.
Okay.
That's why I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give my.
I'm finna go in. Okay.
I'm gonna give my and I admitted that it was unsolicited.
And for people, not to cut you off. So, and then this is all true, right? So I didn't feel no type of way, to be honest. I didn't. And you know, it was kind of one of those things like, man, why she feel so strong like about it? So now it's coming out. I've always wondered it. I'm just looking like, yo, do you have anything better to do? Like, why are you spending your time talking? You know what I mean? So
also,
go ahead.
This is like my perspective in general, but specifically to you is why I commented to you. And I have no problem admitting that it was unsolicited, and I apologize for that. But I should have just I could have just like taken you off my social media or just like unfollowed you because I didn't like the direction of your content. No, why y'all guessing?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But this is,
I could have.
No. But granted, this is what I told her. I said this to her. I said, listen, you can kind of unfollow me if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did tell her that. But granted, I knew I was going to be me posting something about that. I'm inviting people to talk about it because someone's going to have strong opinions about it.
Clickbaitish. It's also clickbaitish.
Of course.
It's also like Kevin Samuels-ish, like what women should be doing. Those things. And I said, it's giving podcast. Mind you,
R.I.P. to Kevin Samuels.
I didn't know you had a podcast. I did not know that. I didn't know you had a podcast. And in the comments, I said, it's giving very much male podcast. That's what I said in the comments before I even knew you had it.
Okay, I didn't, okay. Shots out of that. I didn't see that part. I didn't see that one. There were so many comments. I didn't see that one. Okay.
And so the idea that the community has about men who have microphones is the idea that there is a platform for men to just say whatever they feel about women all the time. Like it's a fear-mongering platform. So when I said it's giving male podcasts, it's because that's a lingo that's used in social media for men who just like to, and y'all women need to, and then the thing about women, and they're not like, I follow another podcast. I don't want to name it, because we're here on you guys' platform.
Appreciate it.
But they're married men. They bring people on. They talk about their date nights. They talk about, how scary it was the first time they had a child. They talk about, how they wanted to leave their spouse and how their first.
I think I know what podcast you're talking about too.
We're not gonna say it.
Hey, don't say it. Don't say it. Just leave it alone.
And outside of that platform, they all have platforms where they go to the gym, workout. The whole 9 months pregnancy of my wife. All the different things. And I was like, okay, I would prefer that over people who just sit around and do that. But specifically to Lump, I was like, this doesn't seem like him. Maybe that was my own interpretation of you. It just didn't feel like. And mind you, I haven't spoken to you or seen you in person
in a while.
In years.
In a while, yeah.
But again, knowing someone from 16 years old, and I'm 36 years old, I'm like, has he become?
No. And then
I was almost disappointed.
Hilarious.
I love it.
I'm all for it. Go ahead, Mr. G, man. Go ahead. Chime in.
Okay, so here's where I'm at, right? Because you just laid out a lot of things, right?
She did.
I'm gonna peel back the layers as much as I can. The good news is, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna ask Mr. DA to be himself today, right? Because I want to have this conversation, right?
Yes. Please, DA, give us you
conversation, right? And listen. And here's the thing. One of the first things I heard was one of the first things that really kind of like boom was the Kevin Samuels comment, right? And I really want to know, and I know this is going to sound like I'm like, what do you mean? What did Kevin Samuels do that was so bad that women now feel like if a man has any content similar to Kevin Samuels, it is clickbaitish, it is women bashing? Because I think when I first heard Kevin Samuels, I could understand what people were thinking because I just saw clips. But then when I watched,
you see the whole context,
show, right?
In context, yeah.
And I realized that he was literally as a professional helping these people almost for free at times, just trying to really give help. And he did get rude, but I think he most of the time got rude when people were rude with him. And that was the part that was never heard, right? Like it was always his response and not the other part. So I'm just asking, because I respect everything you've said so far. You and I have actually been riding the same wave up to now. The synergy's cool. I want to know from your perspective. One, is that just because that's like a thing that people are saying, or is that really your opinion? Have you really watched a lot of the Kevin Samuels content? And if so, what was it about that content that makes, because this is going to lead into our conversation, I think, a lot, to be honest with you, right? So what was it about the content, if you did watch it like in its entirety, that made it feel like, okay, this isn't a productive conversation anymore?
So I have not watched Kevin Samuels in his entirety. Okay. The clips that I did begin to see, obviously they were showing where he was rude, calling people, describing people in certain kinds of ways.
Very negative ways, yeah.
In very negative ways. Because I'm a believer, I do feel like things should be delivered with grace. Like, give people grace. Like, to go and be like, as big as you are talking about a man. Like, come on, that's how you gonna tell the girl. Mind you, these people, they wanted his advice. So that's
was solicited. Yeah.
And Lump, should I be calling you Daily Insight, or can I just call you Lump?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Lump.
That's fine.
That's fine. So in comparison to Kevin Samuels and Lump, it's like this woman is on Lump's social media, just unbeknownst to her, as opposed to Kevin Samuels, who these people called in to be.
Yeah.
So Lump is worse than Kevin Samuels.
In my opinion.
And let me say that I do agree with Rebecca to the extent that they're not asking for people to put their face out to the public like that. You know
Hold on,
I mean?
time out. Hold on, time out. They are. You know why?
No, they're not. No, they're not.
No. Time out. If you come outside, you know how you look. If you come outside dressed to the nines with a suit on or with your everything looking, you got your makeup on, you looking nice, ain't nobody gonna say nothing but damn, you look great. Damn, who did your hair? Who did your makeup? Versus you come outside with slippers, flannel. Yo,
but
you
at
just
the end
walk
of the
out
day, you making a comparison. You're making a comparison to people in their positive light.
It's just like a woman coming outside half-ass naked, titty showing, see-through this, booty out, coochie shorts showing. You asking for negative attention. Point blank.
That doesn't mean that she has to receive it.
You're not asking for people.
That doesn't mean that she has to give it. That doesn't mean that she should receive it because of.
That's like saying that just because you got kids outside. Check me out.
She's asking for that type of.
She's not asking for anything. She's asking.
She's not asking. She's
go where
she's
going.
She's
not asking for anything. She put on the
shopping.
Yeah, she's asking for shopping.
That's like saying she deserves to be raped.
I rock shirts.
She deserves to
She's
be.
asking to shop in peace. I need you to have a shirt with a butt naked girl and say she's just shopping in peace. I need a shirt.
You're making a wild comparison. You're making a wild comparison. You are. It's okay. It's okay.
Not Lump. Listen, Lump. You got to let him get it off, though. You got to let him get it off.
I'm sorry.
You have to be careful with the word asking. No one is asking for anything, because I can put on this full face of makeup and be like, and someone could still be like, you got to wear makeup every day to work. Like, that's great. So don't think that because, she could put makeup on and she looks so pretty that people are always approaching me in a positive way. That pretty privilege doesn't come across the board. I'm not asking anyone to say that I look cute, but people can still look at me and say, she always got to put makeup on. Like, I bet she ugly underneath that. So you don't know what we're going to get, but we're not asking for anything.
But when you put a bonnet on,
look, you got to also recognize too, there's a reason why when news reporters and other media are doing stories, they ask the people whether or not they want their identity disclosed. You didn't go through that process. So your behavior would be tantamount to harassment. Now, it's okay to admit that. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Bro,
because you cannot stand in court and defend yourself.
Okay, well,
if you bring in unwanted negative attention to someone, that's harassment. It is what it is.
Question.
And so the question
Did
is,
you say sexual harassment?
No, I got a question.
No one said sexual harassment. See, that's again, you're not listening. It is harassment. It's harassment. So check me out. Check me out. Hold on. Let me. Let me say something.
No. But I don't want you to get.
Let me just finish my point. Let me just finish my point.
Okay.
So she went out, and she went shopping. She's in her regular home attire. Truth be told, I don't know now, Rebecca. I don't know. It was you that said what you said, and that said what if you're attractive, find me attractive, because that's the truth. Because whether or not,
no, that was another girl. That was another woman that disagreed with my point. That was another woman.
Yeah, that's another woman. So that principle is cool. But as far as putting someone's face out
there, what principle?
That's
that a woman that a woman with a bonnet on is
women will attract all sorts of men.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Like, it doesn't matter what. No, it doesn't matter what we wear. Whoever is attracted to us is going to like us, regardless.
It don't have to be dressed to the nines. If someone says if a man thinks that she's attractive, he's still pulling up. Like she could be in a tank top.
Okay, so let me just to kind of make sure we don't go too far off the reservation.
Yeah.
Is a woman considered attractive if she looks like the photo or the picture I saw that Mr. Daily Inside posted? That one, I'm sorry, she's not considered attractive to me. Period.
Beauty is in the eye.
If you're in public with a bonnet looking like that, you're not attractive. I'm sorry.
And that's why you're not her boyfriend.
You're not her
boyfriend. And I won't be.
But you don't know if she just left her boyfriend's house or just left another nigga house in their bed.
I guarantee you it wasn't.
So it's not fair to say it's an
I can pretty much guarantee you he's probably not anybody high value.
Hold on, one at a time. One at a time.
Looking like that? Come on, man. Come on, man. Hey, no dude's letting their girl walk out of the house looking like that.
If he's would, of course it
does. Yes, they do.
Yes, they
do.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
When we're gonna go make their breakfast and we need to go get the shopping, he's gonna let us leave the house like that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They don't go through a 10-point check. No man goes through a 10-point checklist to see whether or not she looks the way she needs to. He wants her to look because she went out to go get some Starbucks.
Looking like what Mr. Daily Insight showed. I'm not talking about dressing down. I'm talking about looking like the girl that Mr. Daily Insight showed. I guarantee you her husband or boyfriend is not it. Okay.
You sure
you
about
cannot
that?
guarantee that. That's unfortunate that
you haven't seen Savannah James dressed down?
You cannot guarantee that.
Have you ever seen Savannah James
dressed down? But that's the thing.
I guarantee you.
Have you ever seen Savannah James
coming out with a bonnet on her head?
I ain't never seen Savannah James with a bonnet on her head. I ain't never seen Beyonce with a bonnet on.
And if she did, I
can
guarantee you, LeBron.
Ayesha Curry. Ayesha Curry. Never seen her with a bonnet on. Come on, man.
These are celebrities who get.
I said high value. I said high value.
People get paid for their face and their bodies, though. They get paid for their appearance. They get paid so people can say, I want this outfit. They get paid so people can say, I want these earrings. They get paid so people can say, let me buy her bundles. That's different from someone who just finished waking up. 3 kids went to drop them off to school, had sex with their man, sucked him up, went to go get the food, and came back.
We're moving the goalposts.
Jason, you gotta understand too. We've seen we are in 2024. We've had at least 40 years of colored cameras where we've seen celebrities.
Thank you, Cassandra Joseph. Whoever Cassandra Joseph is, thank you.
That's my sister.
Oh, it is. She's my sister now too. She's my sister now too.
We've seen. Since you want to compare it to celebrities, we've seen celebrities since the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s step outside and look like a hot mess. And we all know they make more money and are affiliated or associated with people who make more money than you could ever claim all these other high value people. Also, you don't have these relationships with these high value people to the magnitude where you can say definitively that this is how they step out on a Tuesday at 8:08 in the morning. You don't know that. I consider myself a high value individual. Mm-hmm. My tax reports will say the same. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I have had people leave my company. Hey, do what you need to do. It's all right. It was all good. And I don't make that judgment. And better believe when you seen us later,
DJ KD, I love it.
Everybody it's contextual. It's contextual.
DJ KD, I love it. Thank you, my brother. I don't know who you are, but thank you.
But just because there are people who don't allow it, that does not negate the idea that there are people who allow it. You guys are saying, the person who allows it. Now you're shaming the person who allows it. Not only does she get shamed for looking like that, now y'all are shaming the man who lets her leave like that. Like, you cannot definitively say that there are not men who are letting women leave in bonnets. It's just not true.
Why? Okay, time out. Why is it a let?
She's unattractive.
Okay, why is it a let? Like the man is allowing? Maybe the woman said, "Hey, I respect myself as a woman. I will not allow anyone to catch me in public with a bonnet."
Well, that's a question to Jason because he's the one that said that.
No, I get it, Jason. I'm addressing Mr. South Florida. So
okay,
why is it allowed? You know what I mean? That woman may respect herself and I say, it ain't got nothing to do with my man, my family. This is how I was raised. My mama taught me never to come outside. with a bonnet on. Like I said in the video, my grandmother, God rest her soul, she basically came out with a church outfit to go shop. And I say, Grandma, why you always, you never know who you might meet. You never know who you might run into, pumping her you know, her hair and
exactly.
pumping her pearl.
Exactly.
It was a lesson. And my whole that whole side of the family.
Hold on. So you telling me was she married? Was she married?
Of course she was.
So you telling me your married grandmother was worried about meeting other people?
Other people, not men. It ain't got to be about relationship.
No. But that's not fair because Lump's post said this is why women are single. So let's not say that it's only about that. The way that Lump posted it was, all right, ladies, if y'all want to know why y'all still single, that he was basically insinuating that these women are single because they come out and dress like that. So that's
nobody's approaching that girl, and the girl he posted, nobody's approaching her.
Bro,
I promise you.
You're not approaching.
If she thinks if he thinks she's bad, he will.
Time out. I want to get context to South Florida Sid's thing. That particular girl on another post, she responded 3 or 4 times with the video. She said, she responded 3 or 4 times. Yes, she found you. Responded 3 or 4 more times. So she responded once. She said, "Hey, I get men that make a lot of money, that are warriors. Oh, listen, Lord, that make a lot of money, and they approach me. But I told her, are they marrying you? Are they just sleeping with you? I brought that point up. She did not respond after that. They're approaching you to get some out of you, but are they courting you to make you their wife? Is my question, my response. They just see you as a piece of booty for the moment. You know what I mean? That was my response to her, but she didn't respond after that.
So you're saying if she's wearing a dress, I won't see her as a piece of ass still?
Hold on.
Is that also to say that someone wanting to marry you makes you high value? Like you've arrived at some place because some man wants to put a ring on your finger? I didn't. You wanting to put a ring on my finger does not bring value to me as a person, as a woman. Wow. So to say that your response is that, oh, but is he marrying you? Child, I've been married and divorced and doing better than when I had him. So you can't tell me that he brought value to me by putting a ring on my finger. So that's not that doesn't make a point to me either.
Neither here or there. Go ahead, Mr. Gary.
Well, hold on. I want to bring context back because, with all due respect, right, at Miss Rebecca, right, I do think that. Let me address this. I just want to get one thing off real quick, right? I don't think that being in a relationship or being married, right, and it's on its face, just that as itself, should qualify for bringing any value to anything, right? But if you are doing what you should be doing, in my opinion, which is finding that help meet, right, that we've all been taught that, hey, we're supposed to be out here trying to find that person that is going to allow us to bring, a wholeness to us, right? At the end of the day, none of us are whole by ourselves. I don't care what none of y'all motherfuckers say, right? I can say this as someone who is married and who's been married for a long time. I can tell you I'm a better person with her in my life than without her in my life, right? I can also say that I've been in bad relationships and that brought no value. The only value they brought was a learned lesson, right? And so what I want to do is make sure that what we're not doing is deviating from, at least in my opinion, the idea that we should be out here looking for a partner to get through this thing that we call life. Because if you have a partner, I might not need as many therapy sessions because I got somebody else to talk to. You know what I'm saying? I might not have to pay $175 to get healthy. I might not have to pay $175 to get healthy, right? So what I'm saying is, from the standpoint of this, right? And I'll shoot this back to, first of all, I want to say this too, right? This is episode like 100, right? We've done 100 of these, right? And I remember way back when Mr. DA said on the pod, he said men control access to marriage and women control access to sex, right? Yes, and I've been saying that ever since because there's no truer statement in my mind or in my opinion, right? A woman is not going to just be able to get married. A man has to be willing to do that, right? And at the same time, right, a man can't just demand sex. A woman actually gives you access to that type of shit. So I mean, or whoever it is you sleeping with,
Yeah.
somebody's giving you access. Let me be
We're
clear.
talking about heterosexuals. We're talking about
I'm just saying. I'm
heterosexuals.
being
Yeah,
I'm being inclusive. You know, I'm being inclusive, right? So whoever it is you sleeping with, somebody's granting you access to it. And so what I want to make sure that we get back to the ideology of this. If we're talking about single, right? I'm not talking about single like I got a boyfriend at the crib, right? I'm not talking single like it's a nigga playing PS5 in my living room right now. I'm talking single or married. Them the only two fucking boxes you check, right? You either single or you're married. So what I'm saying is, right, like when we start talking about this, we're talking about a marriage, not just a boyfriend. So I agree. Yeah, it's gonna be somebody that's gonna holler at her with a bonnet on, and he gonna be like, it's been a
Who exactly?
It's been a lonely month, right?
Who is this person?
I mean, listen.
Hey, listen, hold on. Ray said he want to see the video. He want to see the
homeless person. I'm on the beach right now. I'm on the beach right now.
Man, y'all
I got
wildin'.
a few.
You
There's a
wildin',
few
Jay.
beach bums out here. Probably approach her. I'm on the beach right now. I'll show you. There's a few beach bums who approach her. Get out of here! Come on.
Hey, listen.
Let her be. Let that woman be built.
Hey, wait. Let me. I want to show the video. The real. It's a short clip to Ray again. He said he hasn't seen it. I'm gonna show it again real quick so he can see it.
By the way, Rebecca, you would never go out the house looking like that. And I've only known you for an hour and 41 minutes.
That's not the point.
Thank you. It is the
not
point.
the point.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
It's
You would
not.
never go out the house looking like that.
That's right. Continue to wear.
Come on.
I just want to know why y'all be lying. If a person finds you attractive, a person finds you attractive. It doesn't matter what you have on.
Be sure to
Somebody gonna
She is
pull
an
up, bro.
abundance
that's it,
of
Ray.
first experience. You don't know it. To respond back to GJH.
You just call me Gary. You just call me
Gary. Okay.
Yeah.
To respond to Gary to say, there could be a woman at home that'll save you the $175 for therapy. That's to say that this woman in this bonnet is not somebody's piece.
I didn't say that.
No, that's what you're insinuating, though.
No.
And it is. It is.
Let me
So you're
provide
saying
clarity.
it as if this woman who wears a bonnet cannot be someone else's piece.
No.
And need.
Let me provide clarity. Let me
for
provide
them to not
clarity.
need therapy.
Because that can't be the narrative that's out there in the internet world that what Gary said. So what Gary said was, and I was responding to the idea when we started talking about marriage and putting a ring on your finger and the value that it brings. What I didn't want to do was devalue, right, the institution of marriage, because I think that there's value in the institution of marriage.
Absolutely.
Right. That's what I was referring to. Now, what I said at the end was that there is somebody for everybody. Somebody may find that attractive.
Hold on, wait.
Or they may be willing to give grace on that.
I got a button for that.
Accusation. False accusation.
I'm sorry. You can continue.
Somebody may be willing to provide grace for that moment, right? But I can tell you as a father, right, that has two daughters, I tell my daughters all the time, "Oh, you ain't coming out of the house with me looking like that." No. Right?
She's also an adult.
Who?
I assume that the girl was an adult.
My daughter?
No, Lump, the girl that.
Well, my daughter's 22 years old.
Oh, she's
an adult.
Oh, I'm talking about the girl that found Lump, because I didn't know that the girl had found you.
She found me and
She's an
had
adult?
2-3 more. Yes, she's an adult. She's like in her 20s.
I know, and here's
She's in
what
her
I'm
20s.
saying. My daughter would, if I was not standing there with a standard, right? My daughter would walk out the crib in a bonnet too, right? And she would think that whatever she wore to the club later on that night is going to have more value than the moment where she was outside in her bonnet, right? We have a society or a generation of people that I think they pick their moments when they want to shine, right? They have their highlight reel. That's what Instagram, that's what all of this shit is for, right? Yeah. And I feel like everybody's building up the highlight reel, but they're not worried about practice, right? They Allen Iverson with this shit. Practice.
We talking about practice?
Everybody ain't gifted like that. Some of y'all niggas need to go to practice. Some of y'all niggas need to know that, yes, when you go outside the crib, right, you should look a certain way, carry yourself a certain way. If you are comfortable, I'm going to say this with all sincerity. If you are comfortable with how you look, knowing that you could run into a future employer, you could run into a future husband. You could run into your pastor. You could run into somebody that you seem to have a high esteem for. If you're willing to have that conversation in your pajamas and a bonnet with your toes out, toes ain't painted right, chipped up toenails, fingernails long as hell, but they ain't got whatever it is. If you comfortable with your flat face and not the beat up face, like if you comfortable in it and if you like it, I love it for you. If you like it, I love it for you. But don't be mad. But don't be mad. And
Oh, look.
Say,
Look who said something to say. Preach, Gary. Oh, okay.
I know who my sister is.
And DA,
I didn't know she was your
who my
sister. I'm sorry.
is.
I didn't know she was your sister.
I know how my sister carries herself. She's the HR director. So I know that she would not ever let herself be seen in her
and
body.
She wouldn't let her employees come to work like that either.
And she wouldn't let her employees go to work or see her in that way. That does not mean that over the scope of all women, that's how we have to carry ourselves. I've been in a bonnet in public, paint all on me, painted my whole house, ran out of paint, had to go to the store, forgot the bonnet was on my head. If I were to see Lumps post, I'd be like, no, this nigga did just, it was a vulnerable moment.
But you'd also be slightly upset because that is not who you are, right? It's a screenshot that encapsulates a moment and not a person, right?
Right, but neither does Lumps post either. Because you don't know how she looks on a regular day either.
But it does tell me that you have a standard.
The mongering, the single mongering, that's the word, like fear mongering. I feel like posts like what Lump posted is like it's like bait for this like fear mongering for women that we have to present ourselves a certain kind of way, as if we're like Sid said, unattractive. As if her face is just covered by the bonnet. At this point, Sid acting like she covered her face with the bonnet, acting like you don't see body or
she would have been better off doing that.
So it's like if she took off the bonnet, is like the veil torn from her eyes, like Jesus.
Well, hold on.
And now she's attractive when the bonnet comes off.
No. But listen. I hold you not. I was in the store yesterday. I was with my kids. We were shopping. I seen a chick, right? She was attractive, had a nice little body, had some tights going on. Got that Penelope showing, bonnet on her head, regular t-shirt. She was body, cute face.
Penelope.
Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, so the whole thing is she was attractive, but again, had she came dressed up, be quiet, relax. Had she dressed up, then guess what? It would have been like, all right, some dude probably would have hollered at her. They probably would have still hollered at her anyway, within all that. But I'm just saying, she could have met her future husband on that day. He'd be like, hey, you.
Why couldn't she meet her future husband?
You know why? Because this guy said, I'm gonna tell you because he has standards and he say, you know what?
Exactly.
I want a woman that I don't.
All married men have standards.
Let me finish. So he's saying, without me, she's going to come outside without with no bun on her head. She gonna, if I'm not even in the presence of her. She has a standard. Her dad taught her, like Mr. Gary said, I got standards for my daughters. They ain't coming outside looking like that. So therefore, she's not going to do it with herself. So if that woman has those type of standards that Mr. Gary has for his daughters, she would not have came outside looking like that. That would have stuck with her. That's what I'm saying.
But
I got a question.
Hold on, Gary.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
Same token, two things. To say that she is not going to meet her husband that way is unfair because it's not true. Someone is going to want her too. That's to say that a husband or someone who is ready to marry a woman is a high value man. That is not true because men have different reasons why they marry. Either to marry up or marry for body or marry to say that they're not gay or marry for other reasons. So there's that. Then that's to say
she could probably get one of them. She
then
get
that's
one of
to
the
say
ones
that the
that's
men who are married.
Don't even say all that.
Hold on, wait.
Then
Hold on,
that's
let her
to
finish.
say that all those married people, all the men who are married, are not cheating on their wives with said girl who has her Penelope out in the street. So y'all sleeping with the girl, cheating on y'all wives with the girl with the Penelope out.
Never.
But y'all have this grave standard of marriage.
Never.
Okay, let me say
crazy.
this. Yeah, I agree. But let me say this real quick because unfortunately I'm at the log off.
Rebecca,
unfortunately, let me say this because
unfortunately
I'm at the log off and get these kids something to eat. But so let me stand on this. First of all, Rebecca, it was great. It was great meeting you. Second of all, I say this. I stand on this. There is no man
You're that
who
man.
makes good money, who's
You're that
good looking, and worth his weight in gold, that's going after that girl that Lump showed in that video. You know, in that very moment. I'm not talking about what she looks like when she takes her bonnet off. Let's not move the goalpost.
When she
when she
get
dressed up.
dressed
No,
up.
exactly.
Yes.
In that moment, no man is approaching her, you know. And I'm not trying to throw shade on her.
With her.
I'm not trying to throw.
Yeah. Okay. Mhm.
Okay. Well, she wants to be a side chick. That's one thing.
No.
If she wants to be a side chick, but
yeah,
all
you
I'm saying
your
is,
wife in a situation to have that be your side chick.
hey,
You're not protecting your marriage bubble.
You're moving the goalposts. You keep moving.
You're
But
just not
shout out to
protecting
that
your
lady.
family.
Shout out to that lady. Shout out to that girl. I would say all women do the best you can. And see, Rebecca doesn't remember, but I asked her, would she ever go out looking like that? She said no. You didn't answer. You didn't answer.
No,
But
I
that
didn't
meant
say
no.
no. I said I have by mistake. When I
But
picked
purposely,
over my head.
like you would never do it. But because you're a high value woman, you value yourself. So at the end of the day, take the advice. Yeah, take her advice. Don't do it, in my opinion. Go out looking as best you can, as often as you can. And that's why I stand on. Shout out to I Stand On That podcast and my brothers, man. Rebecca, thank you so much.
Thank you
so much. And y'all keep the conversation going. I'm going to be listening. But I got to take the kids to some media. They're going to kill me. All right? Thank you guys, man.
South Florida.
So let me just jump in and just provide, some clarity from my position. And that is, at the end of the day, if a dude thinks she bad and that's what he want, he going after it. I don't want to hear this. Let me finish.
Wait. I rock shirts. Look at down below. I rock shirts just said it. He said, "Y'all, wow, it doesn't matter how much money a man made. He will holler. Doesn't matter how she looks."
Literally.
Yeah.
Pull up in a Porsche and holler at her. Pull up in a Lamborghini and holler at her.
Because if he thinks she's bad,
okay, Gary.
He's going in.
I got a comment later. Go ahead.
Let's stop about. And then guess what? There's men. Man, we live in a world. We live in a state where men marry strippers all the time. All the time.
They ain't wearing bonnets.
Strippers. Hey, I'm just saying.
They're not wearing bonnets.
Huh?
They're not wearing bonnets and pajamas.
They butt ass naked. Everybody done seen their body, and a good chunk of them probably have done some sex work on the side. So we comparing the lady in the bonnet to actual sex workers who found husbands. So if we're talking about the morality police, if we're talking about the respectability police, and y'all know me, I can go real hardcore. I can go real hardcore with my views.
We know.
That the reality is, if a man thinks she's attractive, he's going in. Now, the other thing I just want to touch on the first point that I made was it is still inappropriate to post people's pictures online without their consent. And I still stand on that. And I'm gonna stand on that.
Gary, go. I got my thought on that, but go. Because I'm finna set you up real.
That's
I'm
what
finna set you up real
talking
nice.
about private individuals. We're talking about private individuals.
I'm gonna set you up real nice.
About
Go ahead.
public celebrities. These are public individuals. We're talking about private individuals, and you still have to. There's still a level of decorum because I can't just post pictures of you outside doing all sorts of crazy stuff, or pictures of you in an indisposed position.
I'm finna dead this.
It is what it is.
Hold on. Time out. Okay, hold on, Mr. Lawyer. So what if we set it up and we was in on it? Then what?
Who was in on it?
The girl?
Me and that person. What if we set it up and we made the video?
People do that.
Okay, all right. Just asking.
Yeah, that's consent.
Just asking. Go ahead. Just asking. Go
All
ahead.
the time. What I don't like is the idea that people are posting, and let me get back to the topic. People are like Lump are posting this kind of content, unsolicited. If the DA says it's consent, if she were in on it, whether she was in on it or not, and then come to my page and say, "Oh, I'm doing a dance on my page." I'm dancing for me. You're posting someone unbeknownst to them. So when I said it's not the same thing for you to say, "I don't think you should be dancing on your page." That's your opinion of me. You're asking thousands of people to give an opinion on someone else's daughter, someone else's like child. You're asking people to come and give their opinion. Hey guys, come look at this. Come look at this girl who must be single because she's in a bonnet, as opposed to someone saying, girl, you a therapist and you dancing on your page, I think that's inappropriate. Oh, okay, I'll take it down because I have the choice to. Now this girl done found you, got your page reported, went into it with you, like all that on an unsolicited. And you said you're not wasting time. It was not anything that was a stretch for you, but you're bringing attention to a woman unbeknownst to her and think that that's a comparison to me dancing on my own page.
Just, but you know, I was just, it was a troll session. You understand? And it's content. And if Mr. Gary knows me, it's content for me. Whether it's negative, positive, whatever the case may be, it's content. Now, DA, if it wasn't, we were in on it, I know I ain't supposed to be posting that. I get it. But again, if we're in on it, I say, listen, some views, like you, cool, great. Then we just move forward and go for it. You know what I mean? So again, and people think that social media stuff is reality, guys. It's reality. It's not reality.
But why choose? You know what I mean? Why choose for your content to be trolling content? Like that was my other point in saying, like,
that was just one post. That was one or two posts. That was just one or two posts.
But why
you don't see no other posts
as
like
a
that.
father to have trolling content? Why? That was my biggest question. Like, why would Lump do this? Like, why would he do such content? Someone who, you know, does all these things, has children, sells insurance, like all of these things, and is a man of high value.
I didn't say I didn't
be trolling a woman about her bonnet. So the choice in doing the post is also what bothered me. Like, what brought you to the point where, like, I'm gonna post this girl, like. That's crazy to me.
Can I get mine off real quick though?
Please go ahead. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna answer you, Rebecca. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gary.
I just want to get mine off because this is evolving into a different conversation. And so what I wanted to do is just say, like, so here's what I want to make sure I make very, very clear, like 1000%, right? And this is why I said there is somebody for everybody, right? I want to make sure that is very, very clear, right? Now, I just believe as an individual person, as a human being, right? My job as a parent, as a father, as an uncle, a mentor, whatever you want to call, as someone that is growing in age, right? Is to make sure that we don't lose the foundation from which, right, we were kind of reared in. And I understand that we're in an evolving world. I understand that a lot of our old ideologies are morphing into something new, right? Things that used to be unacceptable are now acceptable, right? Tattoos used to be taboo, right? You better be able to cover them up. Now it's okay to have a tattoo, right? There are things that we all understand are evolving, but I want to make it very clear, right? And this has been my position the whole time. When you walk out your house, you are telling the world something about yourself, whether you want to believe it or not, right? There is no expectation of privacy once you step outside your door and you are in the public, right? If I am in the public, it is what it is, right? Now, I am not saying that a man should listen. I'm gonna let Lump deal with what Lump is dealing with. That ain't got nothing to do with your boy. But I'm here to talk about the bonnet thing, and I am tired. Listen, Peanut, stop playing with me. You are not marrying no woman that you see in Walmart with a bonnet on. I know you, brother. I know you, right? And I'm not saying that somebody's not going to holler at her. I'm not saying that somebody's not going to try to get in the drawers, to get the drawers. What was it that Martin said? What does GTD stand for? Got the draws, right? If you want to be that woman where you the GTD chick, right? Got the draws. Do you? But what I am saying is, and I agree with you, Ms. Rebecca, not every man out there walking on these streets is a high value man. I also want to make it clear, I don't care how much money you make, it don't make you a high value man. It's a lot of slime balls out there that make a lot of money, right? Because if that's the case, what we're saying is Donald Trump's a high value man. Okay, right? What we're saying right now is that Diddy's a high value man?
Bars.
Okay, so here's what I also want to say, because listen, it's a lot of people beating this up. And this is what happens in real life when it ain't no real man that stand there and have this conversation. I want to make it very clear. Not all men are cheating. Matter of fact, the men that I know are not cheating. I don't hang with people like that. We don't even rock like that because you don't even vibe on the same wave that I vibe on. So when I can speak to is what I speak to and what I speak of. I know this. When I find out that some of my homies are doing that dirty dick shit, cheating on their wives, not handling their business at home, we have a conversation, and if that conversation doesn't come true and doesn't make me have confidence that you still the same dude I knew, then I don't rock with you no more. I'm the dude that cuts somebody out my phone book every year on my birthday, because if you ain't add no value for me over the last year, what you here for? So I want to, like, just for the real men that are out here in the chat that might watch this later, we standing on something. We're going to defend the fact that you want us to come to the table with something, right? All y'all talking about the table. Y'all bring this table. Fuck the table, right? You want me to show up, then y'all got to show up too, right? And what I'm saying is, no, you are not your bonnet. You should not be of your bonnet. You know you are not your bonnet, ma'am.
There you go.
But don't be mad when somebody that does look at you and is like high value and is like, damn, shawty, you could be so much more, right? You can't be mad when somebody takes that screenshot, that snapshot of that moment and has an idea of who you might be because of what you were willing to do, right? I know people that used to strip. They are not their history and they are not their past, right? But at the same time,
hey,
at the same time,
Cassandra, we do call him Rev. Rev Gary, he is a Rev. He is.
Listen, we are a compilation of our choices, right? Like that's what we are. So at one point in time, you thought it was okay to shake a tail feather. And listen, does that mean that you shouldn't have forgiveness and grace?
Yeah, that's what I said.
We're not talking about that. I just want to make sure that what we're not doing is for all of the future wives out there, you're going to attract what you put out there, right? And I'm just saying this, that most men who are going to go to work, willing to pay the bills, if you can't work and he's going to pick up the slack for you, he's going to try to cook dinner so that you ain't got to do all that kind of stuff, right? So I'm not going to talk about how we got to the conversation.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the conversation, right?
DJ KD says something.
Is very serious, and it is what it is. And so, Ms. Rebecca, I respect you, and I respect your opinion. I even understand how we kind of like we doing this shit right here, right? Right? Because we navigated through the conversation. There's layers to this, but I just want to make it clear: if you want to wear a bonnet, wear a bonnet. Because, like I said, you are not your bonnet, but you should understand that there are going to be reactions to whatever you put out there in this world. Right.
Those reactions do not have to be publicized on someone else's page.
Well, let me go ahead and put the big picture on Mr. Lump so he can go ahead and respond to things that have nothing to do with the boy.
Well, again, why post that content? One, right? It was an opinion of mine that came out. I don't feel as though a woman should wear a bonnet, a actual bonnet in public. Well, my daughters wear them? Nope. Mrs. wear them? Nope. So therefore, at that moment, what am I saying is I don't approve of it. I'm not saying, hey, you ain't gonna get married, you single, this, that. Again, this is a trolling session. You understand? Now, had I seen someone that I had some strong feelings for and had a bonnet on, I'm gonna holler at them, yo, I know this ain't you. Can't you? Would you get with me? Listen, hey, don't be wearing no bonnet. You represent me. You understand? Now, if I went out with a do-rag, Rebecca, hypothetically, would you be cool with your husband wearing a do-rag out in public? Just cool, just chilling. And that's his style. He just wears do-rags all day, every day. Would you be okay with that?
Yes.
Why?
Because I feel like the do-rag has been like minimized and the bonnet has been like put up to the max. I think to me a do-rag is fine.
Really? It's the same thing for me. It's the same concept.
You don't feel like taking it off.
But you're in public though. This is my thing. That's what I'm saying. My grandmother, again, you went out, you forgot you was on. That's cool. But hold on, G-Man. Again, I was raised like, and it's kind of crazy. It's ironic that I made that post because I don't like to dress up, to be honest. To put on clothes, I'd rather put on some Nike pants, shirt, and just keep it moving everywhere I go. You understand? Certain situations, you should kind of dress for the occasion. I shouldn't show up to a wedding in some shorts and a shirt. Absolutely. You understand? If I could wear shorts and go to work and a tank top, I would. And put on some Nikes, I would, but I can't. You know what I mean? I don't come out losing no battle. But anyway, fact of the matter is, you should come outside dressed to the nine for the most part.
But to go to Walmart, and I want you to take your do-rag off to go to Walmart, you're not. I'm not doing that.
You are representation of who you are.
But we already together. We in the store together. So if you're gonna holler at somebody,
we in the store together with a do-rag and you got your bonnet on.
I don't see the problem.
Brother, I was just in the gym yesterday.
If you cool with that, it's all great. It's cool. It's all great. But I just say,
turbans, the turbans. It's a problem every time.
Yeah, but brother,
I don't mind the do-rag.
But brother, I literally was in the gym yesterday, and I seen several brothers. I seen several brothers with do-rags on. Like to Rebecca's point, like the do-rag doesn't have the same social stigma as the bonnet. Now, this is one of the things that I just want us. It's the truth. Like
again, that's
cats can wear a black do-rag. You see cats. We
the doobies upstate New York.
The three of us, we watch college football. We've seen guys literally go to practice with a do-rag on their head, especially when they're without the helmet. And then when they put the helmet on, it's still on their head. Like that happens. Like let's not act like it's the same.
We're moving the goalpost.
No, it's not moving the goalpost. You compared it to the bonnet to the right. I got to show you what the do-rag looks like in real life.
Red bonnet, a red do-rag, red Jordans. Black do-rag, black and white Jordans. It's not the same as the do-rag no more. The do-rag and the bonnet.
The do-rag doesn't have that same stigma.
Not at all.
So there's a what's the term I'm looking for?
Comparison?
No. God damn it. We said it. You said a bonnet has more of a net. Yeah. So what's the term?
The social standard, the acceptance of a bonnet has gone down. The acceptance of a do-rag has actually gone up. They got the velvet do-rags. Men are on TikTok showing how they do-rag help they waves like bonnet.
It's at night.
But when was the bonnet highly acceptable?
Not highly acceptable, just not put out into the world the way that it is now.
Right. Well, like I don't think a lot of people saw the bonnet until
right. But before the bonnet, it was back in the day of like 227 and shows like that.
Yeah,
it was the lady who wore her rollers.
Yeah, her rollers.
Bonnet, it was the rollers. The bonnet was to protect
cover the rollers, absolutely,
to protect the style. So the bonnet became the rollers of shows like those 227.
So you gonna walk? So bingo. So you walking around with rollers in your head?
I'm gonna leave with the rollers in my head. I'm so sorry. I'm not. If I ain't taking them out to preserve a hairstyle, I'm leaving with the rollers in. I'm sorry. Sometimes
put the bonnet on top.
You can't let the hair drop. If I'm going to a wedding, if I have a wedding at 6 and I get my hair done at 12, and I go get my hair done and she roller set me, and I gotta go to Walmart right quick, I'm going to Walmart in the rollers. I'm sorry. I'm not taking out the hair and then having it look like crazy for the wedding. I'm sorry.
Well,
hold on. And then,
if I put a bonnet on to protect my curls, if somebody pin curls my hair and puts the bonnet on, but I gotta run errands, get food for the kids, get my man together, and then I gotta go home and get dressed, the bonnet is staying on. I'm sorry.
Well, okay. This
girl was doing it by choice, but there are certain times where we got to protect the hair for the nature.
Double standard. That's the word. Thank you. Double standard. That's the term I'm trying to look for. So there's a double standard when it comes to do rags and bonnets, essentially.
Yes.
That's what that is. Okay, so well, that's what it is. That's nothing you can't change. But I say some people mentioned that. Oh, okay. Why you don't talk about the men? This was on my IG page. Somebody said something about it. I said, well, men should be wearing do-rags for the most part. If you come out, take the do-rag off, brush your waves. When you come back in the house, put the do-rag back on. Ladies, put the bonnet back on. Plain and simple. And Gary, you remember Rasonda. Rasonda used to come to work with the bonnets on sometimes.
Not naming people.
Yeah, no, he did that one. He did that one.
People, bro.
But
she's not gonna see this. She's not gonna see this.
You know that, Lump. That's the thing. How do you know that? That right there, that thought process right there is what got your page, your video taken down, because we don't know where to go find you.
So listen, I want to say
it was that one girl that found me, point blank period. That's all.
Rashandra about to find you too. Rashandra about to find you too.
You've been talking shit about me. That's what she gonna say.
And somebody gonna say, girl. And they gonna
he did it on the podcast.
Taken down. The podcast gonna be shut down because of Rashandra.
Ain't nobody stressed. Hey, it ain't enough people watching the podcast at the moment. We ain't worried about like that.
I don't like that talk. I don't like that talk neither,
bro.
We ain't worried about like that.
Listen. Hold on.
This is your friend. This is podcast.
This is what it is. I'm being honest.
It's going to be the one that goes viral.
We're trying to get there.
Right.
We haven't arrived yet. Rome wasn't built all in one day.
Miami, Florida. Deshandra was talked about on a post and sued the Stand on Business podcast for her defamation of character.
Yo, let me ask you a question, Miss Rebecca. Let me ask you this, Miss Rebecca, because here's what I want to make sure, right? When we started talking about having a bonnet conversation, right? Real talk, right? The whole ideology behind it, at least for me, was right. There is a woman out there, right? There is a woman out there who feels very comfortable, right? And like making this a daily routine, right? Like, I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm gonna get up, throw on the pajamas, leave the pajamas on, throw the bonnet on, right? And just hit the store real quick. You talked about a lot of moments. You talked about moments, and you also talked about preparation, right? And so there are women out there right now that are preparing for a moment bigger than the moment they're in, right? And grace should be given for things like that, right? But I do want to make sure that we're honest in having the conversation, that when I see, listen, I know the standard that my wife walks out the door with, right? I know the standard that my mother walks out the door with. I know the standard that all of the aunties and uncles walked out the door with, right? I try my best to live up to that. I don't believe that a grown man should walk out the crib with his toes out. It's just a thing for me, right? I'm just saying, like, we all got a thing that irks us, right? I don't like seeing grown men toes. Nigga, put on some shoes or socks or something.
You know, I thought about saying
unless
something
you go into the beach.
You beat me to the punch.
But hold on. What I'm saying is, I want to make sure that the people understand too that what we're talking about is not a woman in preparation, but a woman in some form of comfort and consent, right? Like, because here's what it tells me: you ain't coming from work. You ain't coming from nowhere where you had to look a certain kind of way, right? And so if I see you like that 7 days a week, that says a lot, right? That says a lot about who you are. And that's what I'm saying, that sometimes it's not just a moment, right? And I don't want to make it seem like what we're out here doing or what anyone's out here doing is judging a moment. What we're saying is, listen, these are the triggers, right, that create silent judgment that y'all may not even realize, right?
We all do it.
There are men out there that have silent judgment, and like you said, there's going to be a man out there that's going to holler, right? But he's hollering with a certain amount of intention. And is that the intention that you want from the man that is coming up to you and approaching you? And I'm not saying that every man that sees a bonnet, I've seen women wear bonnets and not look like that too, right? Like, I think it's the whole, for me at one point when I saw that picture, it was the whole combination, right? Like, heartbeats, let me see your best combination. I want to see your best combination, you know what I mean? And so when you look at it, you're like, damn, that ain't shit right there, boy, right? Like, that's just, it's like one of them, damn, you wasted that shit, cuz melanin wasted down the drain. And so I say all of that to say, let's be real, right? Like I've seen my wife, I've seen my daughter, like they're preparing for a moment much bigger, right? And listen, my daughter, when she went to prom, when she was graduating from college, when she was doing a photo shoot, she had to go get her face beat up, right? And you go get the professional face beater, right? You may not come out with everything like what it is, right? But I can tell you that the combination is going to look a little different. I just want to make sure people have a certain kind of just understanding. Come out how you want to come out, but just understand that there's a stigma that could be attached to it. Because once again, if I see you at the Publix 4 times a week, because we live in the same community, and you always looking like you ain't had to go to work, that say something, right? And maybe you work from home. Once again, we're in a society that evolves, right? We're in a society that evolves. But I just want to say that for us, you know, at least for me, Gen Z type, right? We were raised to believe that you're supposed to come out the house looking a certain way. You know what I mean?
Can I just go back really quick? My other sister is on. Hello, Dr. Sinclair. We love to see it.
Hey, Doc. What's up?
I think that makes 3 of my sisters on now. But earlier today, I don't know if you were on, Gary. Oh no, you were on when Lump said asking for. Let's go back to the idea of the truth is that we are in public and anyone can feel any way that they want to feel about anyone at any point. If you don't like the toes, you don't like the toes. Nothing is going to make you like the toes. But do you have to walk up to a man and say, bruh, come on, man. You know you could put some socks on, man. Is that your business to address that man? Is it your business? Who he is. Without knowing who he is, you just saw him and you feel like now you need to give him.
Listen.
So when he said, the girl who had her Penelope out is asking for a specific thing.
Okay, can y'all tell me what Penelope is? I don't know what that means.
Vagina.
Okay.
Oh my God.
We're talking about sex. We're talking about sex.
It wasn't isolated.
I don't know, bro. I've been married 24 years. I don't know that shit no more.
Yeah, Dr. Sinclair, for reference, it was an isolated incident. He was out and he took a picture of a girl and she went viral, and then I commented it, and now we're discussing it. And so to say, oh yeah, I saw her 3 or 4 times going in and out of Publix. Okay, you work from home, I work from home. We both seen each other at Publix. Does that give you now a right to now give your unsolicited opinion to me? No. But and does it also give you the right to go on social media and publicize your opinion of me? No. That is a choice that you're making to what the DA called harass me and tell me and have people come and tell me what you think of me. What we ask for is to go to the Publix and get the sub and go back home. We don't ask for anyone's opinions when we leave the house.
That's all she wanted to do. That's all she wanted to do.
Whether it's haircut, hold on, I didn't interrupt you now. Whether it's haircut, do-rag, bald cap, toes out, Penelope out. No one is leaving their house asking anyone for anything. I can have intentions on this gonna kill him, this gonna eat him. That's my intention. But do I now want someone to walk up to me and say, hey, can I take a selfie with you? You're so beautiful. That's the same thing as when people go to China and people are like, oh, that skin, also beautiful, take picture. I didn't ask to go to China and be lifted up as a black queen. I didn't ask for that. You're saying that people are going out in public asking. We're not asking for anything. I don't want to be held as a high queen when I go and visit another country because they're so about my dark skin. It's the same thing as whatever I leave the house wearing, whatever I leave the house doing. I'm not asking a male or a female or a dog or a cat to give their opinion on me. You can keep that to yourself at all times. We talked about how people grow up with grandmas who told us this and told us that. They also told us, if you don't have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. They also told us, be good to others. Why are you soliciting opinions about a girl with a bonnet in the supermarket who didn't ask to be publicized?
Well, I want to say free this speech. Too, right? And
free speech.
And I just
hold on. Free choice. Free speech and discretion of what you choose to speak on. We also we're adults, right? So we have discretion on what we say. We're not 3 and 4 years old where we can just, you big mommy, you ugly. That's a child.
Yeah,
as an adult, you should have discernment, discretion, grace on what you say in public as an adult. So you have freedom of speech, but we all know I'm not walking up to a police officer and saying, that's why I don't like y'all niggas now. That's not discretion.
No.
That's
Wait. You move You know you can't compare. You know you can't compare that. You know you can't compare that.
You told the girl she's gonna be single. You told the girl she's gonna be single all her life. You said this is why women are single.
But she wait. But she not finna pull out the gun and shoot me. She not to pull out the gun and shoot me like, oh, you dead. You ain't going home.
Somebody in her family could have.
It's still judgment at the end of the trigger.
Her boyfriend could have. Her brother could have found you. Her brother could have found you. Because they could find, anybody could look you up right now and get your address and your phone and be standing outside your house and say, oh, that was my baby mama. Come outside and fight me. Come outside and shoot up. So you don't know what lengths that person in her life was going to go to protect her. But you made the decision to speak on her.
I'm going to get him.
So there's discretion and discernment. Correct. And there's freedom of speech. That is the conversation. That's what was lacking in the post that Lump made. He had freedom of speech, but he lacked discernment and discretion on speaking on another woman. That's the bottom, and I'm gonna stand on that, and that's the bottom line.
Miss Rebecca. Hold on.
Even Miss Rebecca for the past.
Miss Rebecca.
I love it.
Miss Rebecca.
I love it, baby.
Here's what I want to make it very clear, right? Because listen, you going in, and I appreciate you going in. I have no issues with that you saying. I want to make this very clear, right? Because I started my original little diatribe I went on. I started it with, we had a conversation of, like, not about the fruition of all, like, I'm not aware of all of that. And I wasn't even invested in that. We were just talking about the bonnet situation, right? Which is why the topic was, right, appearance outside in public, right? That was literally the topic on the flyer, right? And so I just want to say that, because listen, Lump know this. In an alley at night, if somebody were to talk about finding him, they got to get through your boy too, right? Like in the alley, let's get it, right? So if brother, cousin, uncle, auntie, or whoever want to come look for Lump, they're gonna have to see all of it, right? But I will say this: when it's over, Lump, me and you gonna have to fight, because we had to fight over some bullshit, right?
Right.
I'm cool with that, brother.
Listen,
hey,
I want to make sure that it listen, because I am very much, listen, you see the Ali behind me with the you know what I mean? So I'm very much a positive energy type dude. And if anybody knows Lump, they know Lump is a positive energy dude as well, right? So
you see the shirt, god damn it.
You know, the reality is I feel everything both you and DA have said. I get it, which is why I keep saying I'm gonna let my man stand on what he stand on. I'm just standing on what I stand on. So I want to make sure that we keep that. Like, we gotta have two separate conversations going. Because when you going in, Miss Rebecca, I don't want to be in the post where somebody be like, Miss Rebecca checks these 3 men about this. Right? Don't put
Rebecca
my
J
picture.
goes in.
Don't put
yo,
my picture out there.
you already know I'm putting it up. Rebecca, it goes in on, you already know I'm putting it up. So it's going up.
But that's good. But that's good clickbait. That's good clickbait.
But let me say
Getting
this,
people
though.
to your page.
That's the whole point. We love it. Shoot.
Let me speak in defense of. Let me speak in defense of Mr. Insight now. You know, and that is okay. So we talked about the form of the question and how it came about. So I think we put that to bed. Now let's talk about the substance. Now there is truth to what Lump is saying, to the extent that, you know, and I'm gonna take what Gary said earlier, and that is there will be silent judgment. There will be silent judgment. There will be silent judgment. Me, preferably, I like the judgment to remain silent, right? Like I want it, and this is the reason why. This is the reason why, because I believe in the market gonna speak for itself. When you notice that you're not getting the attention that you want, you're not getting the love that you require, the market is speaking to you. the market, or not even the market, I don't want to use the economic term, the landscape is speaking to you. And so isolated incident, I don't think that we should go in on someone on an isolated incident.
Mm-mm.
But regular occurrence, now the landscape gonna speak to you. You always dress like that. I like to see you look different, or I like to see you in a different light, but this light doesn't look good. Now, the one thing I want to say is we got to be mindful, because, you know, there's a lot of anti-Black or misogyny sometimes when it comes to Black women's hair, right? And there's a lot of policing of it that we don't even see in other communities with respect to their hair, right? And I'm not saying what they do is what we should do, because I'm of the opinion what we should do is what we should do, and what they do is what they do. But we got to be mindful of these comments and these attacks at times when it comes to women's hair, because it affects their psyche. And we don't live in this country all by ourselves. We don't live on an island when it's just us and we just got to contend with us. We live in a country with other people, and we don't want to be feeding, in my opinion, any anti-Black racism or any misogyny of our women into the atmosphere. Right? It's toxic. It undermines what we all really want is stronger, healthy community for ourselves. So and so that's how I feel about it. So to the extent that it's like a regular occurrence, well, the market gonna speak for itself. But if it's an isolated incident, I think we should show grace, because, again, that's why I'm saying that somebody's going to pull up, because they're going to look like maybe this is just the one time she just happens to be like that. And most dudes will probably bank on it, or will take that shot hoping it's like that.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, man, I think I found a diamond in the rough.
Well,
You know what I'm
listen,
saying?
and if I can say this, DA, just to add on to what you're saying, I'm only looking. Right, like I only even noticed it if there was a reason to be noticed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be honest. In most cases, when I see women like that, dressed like that in the store, I don't even see them. Right, like I'm moving, and I'm like, boom, boom. It's like a box of cornflakes. I don't want them. I'm just keeping on walking. Right,
Respect.
There's nothing to even be seen about. Right, typically when you get that disappointed energy, it's like, damn,
she was a baddie.
Right, and you asking yourself right now, like, is this a moment or is this a movement? Right, like, is this a moment or is this the movement? And unfortunately, the unfortunate reality, and this is what I tell my daughter, what I try to in essence tell my children, right, my daughter specifically, is when you see a pack of lions, I'm not trying to figure out which one ain't vicious, right? And so if you look like a threat, if you look like something I'm not interested in being around, I'm not gonna be as willing, right, to take the time to figure out if this is the friendly line, right? Like, I don't know if this is Mufasa or Simba or Scar, right? And I ain't really trying to be messed up with Scar. So if Mufasa and Simba are walking in the streets with Scar and they look a lot alike, I'm probably going to avoid them, right? Because I'm going to go look for something that don't look like a threat. It don't look like a problem. It don't look like something I'm just not interested in. But I want to shout out, and I agree with everything DA said. I do want to say, before all of this is said and done, that it's on the kings and the queens. It's on the elder statesmen of our communities to protect our Black women, our Black children, our Black culture, our Black community, right? And so our platform is designed, right, to be informational, uplifting, positive, right? It is not necessarily with any intent or malintent involved to say, let's tear somebody down, right? And so without any of that, I want to make sure that people understand, like, the conversation is the conversation, because sometimes even we as hosts need to be educated on, like, what situations look like, right? Like, like I said, I used to be, when I was a teacher in the school system and when I became a dean and I was in administration doing all of these things, I knew what the young culture was like, because I was immersed in it all day. Now I'm working in a different environment with a different group of people, and I'm very well versed on that community, more than I am like what the youth is doing right now. And so I say all of that to say, like, some things we have to understand are culture, right? Some things are just commitment to just like comfort and being who you are. But we as a community have to protect our people, right? And I want to make sure that as Black men, it's very clear to the people listening, and I want to make it clear to Miss Rebecca that I'm protecting my Black community at all costs. Men, women, children, it is what it is. And that's why when you ask that question about would I tell a dude, you ain't had to do that, depending on the situation, I could. Like if I thought in any way, shape, or form that I could give him a positive, I could give him some whatever, right? Like if it's a young man that I know, maybe I coached him in football or we had some relationship with, if we're friends, if DA came to my house with some slides on and his toes out, I'm gonna tell him, yo, we don't do that, brother. And I understand my house is a private environment, right? But I just want you to know, wear your shoes and then put your slides on when you get here, right? Because that's family. That's what we do. If I show up somewhere and I want DA to tell me, yo, bro, did you do this? Right? Like, let's hold it. I don't want to lose the culture of accountability in the community, but I also want to make sure that what we do is have a culture of respect and protection. And some things that we could say inside the family household that can't be said by nobody else, right? It's like one of them situations sometimes too, where like my brother and my sister could say something to me that can't nobody else say. My wife could say something to me that can't nobody else say. Don't respect you say it, right? Don't you say it, but they can say it because we still got to hold each other accountable. So I said all of that to say I want to separate myself from some of this, but I want to make sure that we make it very clear that because I wasn't in the store. I wasn't there that day. I wasn't there that day. I wasn't there.
It was me. It was all me. It was all me. All right. So what I'm standing on this subject, right? I hear everything was said.
Man, just go ahead and apologize. Just go ahead and apologize.
Apologize? Now you're trying to put me on it. Now you trying to put me on the spot. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Amen. We ain't in the church, but it's Sunday. All right. So what we standing on? Honestly, like he said, right? It was a thing to where I want our Black sisters to do better. You know what I mean? That's, you queens. At the end of the day, yes, that I want you to do better. And if it's not having that bonnet on, when you out in public, don't have that bonnet on. You understand? So, yes, everything may have been unwarranted, or it could have been a situation where, like I said, we got together and we agree, hey, listen, you're going to get some feedback. You cool with this? Yay or nay? Yeah, turn your screen off. And therefore, this is kind of what it is, right? So you mentioned the whole thing about the silent judgment. I wasn't judging her. She, she probably dressed up and looked nice and everything. But again, I had an opinion. I voiced it, and that was it. And I got all these comments, and that's how me and Miss Rebecca go off, and the other lady that probably took my page down or reported it has harassment took it down, and she found me. So I'm pretty sure it was her. So that's what I stand on. To be honest, just look your best, and that's it, man. DA, what you standing on, brother?
Man, I'm standing on I'm standing on do what works for you. I'm also say be mindful of the consequences, right? Because it goes both ways. So we talked about double standards. I wanted to have a little tirade on double standards, and part of it was just get over it. It's always going to be here. There was a point in time people was coming at men for sagging their pants. You know what I'm saying? Now we coming at dudes. For wearing tight pants. And
Stop it.
But that was after people got tired of the baggy pants. So it's
but real quick, because you brought up a point. Like, y'all know the show, the Pop Balloon Show, right?
Yeah.
Y'all done seen it. Now, there are women over there, oh, you're too short, your jeans too tight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you dress like a valley boy or a skater. I'm sorry, you can't dress. I'm going to dismiss you. We do it all the time. You know what I mean? But that's just an opportunity. That shows an opportunity to kind of say, hey, to voice your silent, what do you call it? Your silent judgments right there in the forefront. You know what I mean? And some of that stuff, like clothes and all, man, that's overrated. You know what I mean? I get it. But I did make my opinion on a young lady. It was unsolicited, whatever the case may be. But again, I just voiced it, and that was that. So sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're not a bad guy either. I mean, technically it did fall under free speech. So it's like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We had a conversation about it. You know, we having a conversation about it. And I stand on the fact that, you know, as a culture, you know, we just got to be mindful of what looks good, what doesn't, what's regular, what's a one-off. You know what I mean? And when we think about these things,
Give me full DA, bro. Come on, stand.
Hey, wait. We forgot his shirt. Wait, hold on. Remember, shouts out to iRock Shirts for the shirts. G-Man. We made a shirt because of your saying, date them all until one shows consistency. That's what Gary is asking for right now. He asking for that DA. That's what he asking for.
Nah, but I just these days I'm a little bit more to borrow a phrase from you, G. I'm just trying to be fair. I'm just trying to be fair.
Hey, thank you for your comments, DJ Katie. I appreciate it. I'll be that corny guy for this this topic. I'll be that corny guy. It's all good. It ain't personal. Trust me, it's not. But appreciate you.
Oh man.
Listen,
go ahead, Rebecca. Yes, ma'am. I guess you get the gist. Yes, ma'am. Correct.
You want Gary to go, or you want me to go?
You can go. Go ahead.
I'm gonna stand on the idea that everybody is going through silent struggles. So your unsolicited silent judgment is not necessary, because she could have been depressed, she could have had anxiety, she could have been bipolar, she could have been schizophrenic, or she could have been just lazy. So I stand on the idea that you should leave people alone if you don't know the nature of their experience in the world. If you do know their nature, help them find community, help them find God, help them find finances to get into therapy, to get into counseling, or to do whatever they need to do, find housing. I know people who are homeless, all types of things. So it's safe to say I can stand on at least mental health being a factor in the Black community.
And listen, and shout out to Miss Rebecca. She 125 a session right now. So listen, slightly below retail. You know what I'm saying?
I already got a DM. I already got a DM. So thank you for allowing me to be on you guys' platform.
For real?
No, yeah, seriously.
Well, on the show.
Coming.
Yeah, she said she saw me on the show and would like to get some information about counseling. So again,
damn, shouts out to us. Promote business. Yeah, all right. I love it.
Miss Rebecca, it's coming because I'm gonna hit you up because I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, for sure. I do have availability.
I want to say this too, right? Just to really kind of piggyback on what you started already saying, right? First of all, if you are Black in America and you have never been to a therapist, something's wrong with you. I'm telling you, you got to go talk to somebody, man. This is the climate in which all Black people, I don't care who you are, right? You should have at least one session or two, a couple. Give them a couple of sessions, because it ain't all gonna get fixed in 60 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Nope. Whatever it may be. But you got to give people a chance, and you got to figure out who's going to really connect with you and understand you, right? That energy and that vibration between you and your therapist is extremely important, right? Because you have to be willing to accept the energy and the information they're providing you. And if you are just already rigid and unwilling to accept what they're saying, if you can't build with them, then you ain't going to be able to do nothing with them. And so you might as well move on. I would tell you that the struggle to find a quality, and I say Black therapist because personally, I want somebody that understands my issues.
Correct.
In a different light, right? Now, if I'm going to deal with some work-related stuff, whatever the case may be, and there's it's a universal concept, then maybe that's one thing. But the struggle to find a good Black therapist that accepts insurance, that vibrates on the same wave, like it's not an easy battle, right? I've made calls every day for more than a week straight, and then you find maybe 5 qualified people. You're going to spend some money, you're going to waste some money because that person ain't right for me, whatever it may be. But when you find it, it's like finding a partner, right? It's like finding a helpmeet, right? When you finally sift through all of the trash and you find that one piece of gold, it's worth its weight, right? More than anything else. So if you're a therapist out there, you know, don't wear your bonnet, you know, bring your best. No, I had to do it, Miss Rebecca. I'm just playing.
Hey, love it. That was great. That was great timing. She did it to you too, so that was great. Yeah, that was great. Or did whoever that was. That was great.
Hold on, but I do want to say this though, seriously, right? I want to say that we live in a world where you are being judged at all times. Silent judgment is real, right? And people do it for different reasons, whether it's to make themselves feel better, whether it's to detract or deflect or distract themselves from their own problems and their own issues, whatever it is, right? It's crabs in a barrel. We're going to do whatever we got to do to feel like we're standing on top of something or someone else, right? Don't use my people as your platform to feel like you've elevated yourself in some way, shape, or form, right? If we're not having a conversation that is progressive, that is about improving the community or improving understanding of the culture and just different things, then we ain't doing it for the right reasons. I'm not on here, and nobody gets on here to just talk shit, right? This has got to be about making strides and making improvements in our community and amongst each other, right? Growth and progression within self as well. So whoever that young lady is, I ain't got no judgment towards you, right? Don't report my page. I ain't said shit. Okay? Hey. I ain't said a damn thing. Nothing, sir. Nothing. But if you can hear me, and that is how you do, and that is how you vibe like on a daily basis, just know this. It's giving a lot less than high value, right? It gives a lot less than high value. If it's every day, if that's an everyday energy, it gives a little bit less than high value, but it doesn't make you less than as a person.
It doesn't.
We love you, and whatever you're going through, I'm with Miss Rebecca. You could be going through some shit. Tell me before you shoot the store up, right? I'm not gonna say shit about you, right? Because she's right. I have my days when I'm going through some shit, and somebody get that wrath, right? When my emotional intelligence is low on that day, and I can't control myself, that discipline ain't there, somebody gonna get it, right? And it may be the dude at the register in Publix, because he done double charged me for some shit he wasn't supposed to, right? We never know what's gonna trigger somebody and set somebody off. So we got to be very careful about that, right? So love, peace, blessings, kings, queens, let's uplift and let's live together. You know what I mean? I think did everybody stand on something?
Yep, we got everybody. Yep. Again,
shout out to Mr. DA too, because Miss Rebecca, he was one of the founding hosts of I Stand on That podcast. Right? We've been missing him for the last couple of seasons, right? Because he's been building his own business and his own practice. He's been investing in the community. I would be remiss if I didn't do a plug for Alcius Reed Law Firm, right?
Absolutely.
Let's do that.
Alcius, are you Haitian?
Yes, I'm Haitian. Yes, I'm Haitian.
I forgot that connection. With y'all. So
once I heard the last name, I'm like, yeah.
A dead ass giveaway.
Yes, a big one.
I mean, Joseph ain't winner.
Shout out your socials, DA, the platform, where you at, where you located, what you practice, all that.
Absolutely. So my real name is David Alcius, law firm Alcius Reed PLLC. We are now primarily focused in the area of personal injury and all of the things that are intended and that comes with that. We take cases all throughout the state of Florida, and we have plans to take our practice into other areas and other states. But for right now, if you're getting involved in a car accident, a motorcycle accident, trucking accident, Uber, Lyft accident, feel free to give us a call. You can check us out on our website at www.alciusreed.com. And we'll take it from there.
And if you slip and fall in Publix with a bonnet on or not,
I'll take that case. Yes,
bonnet or not.
That case. And we will put the best bonnet forward.
Hey, boy. Hey, I enjoyed this. I swear I did. Shouts out to Mr. I Rock Shirts again, for the shirts, his comments. I appreciate everybody that joined, that had comments as well. I appreciate you.
You still not going to apologize?
All right, I apologize, young lady, for having unsolicited remarks about your bonnet and your attire in public. There we go.
Hey, man.
Please, can you put my page back up, my video, so I can have?
Oh, God. They ain't TikTok. They're not giving that back. You gotta.
I know. It was talk. It was all talk. So.
All right, Gary, give us the benediction. Thank you. I got to eat something I haven't eaten all day, Gary.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just running my mouth. But I want to tell you, you listen. Peanut said it earlier, right? You up one right now on lump. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You up one.
Hey, I might have another one. I might have another one in me.
Nah, don't do it. Don't do that shit again.
I might have another one. Just saying. I don't know. Depending on how I'm feeling. If my emotional intelligence is low, I might just go in. I just might go in that day.
Your capacity.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Listen, my wife and my cigar are calling me downstairs. So
hey, but listen. All right, we finna end this. Guys, if you haven't, please comment, share, like, hit the notification bell on YouTube, follow our TikTok. I'm gonna be putting out these shorts, and hopefully one of these gonna snap, and we're gonna be getting some more. There you go. So see you guys on our next episode. Congratulations, number 100 for you guys. Clap on that. Let's keep this train. Let's keep this train rolling. Thank you again, Rebecca, for joining. It was a pleasure. So
I see y'all little salute.
Absolutely.
Thing. Okay.